rise upon the weak. He set forth without pity and hunted the slaves of doom with barbarous cruelty. Unbreakable, incorruptible, unyielding. None could stand before the Horde but the Doomslayer. For he alone was the Hellwalker.
Bing bong. Bing.
Bing bong, the price is wrong.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hi. Hello, everybody. Right. XXX for the infinity pool. What's happening with John Infinity Pool? Come on, chat. Right, I've got the chat up. Hello, Tradespotting. You sound really good today. Did you get a new mic as well? No, I didn't get a new mic. I just turned all of my everything up. A secret Frostcrest is that, or Frosty Melod. Some secret is that I until now I always like saved 10% at the top of my mic stuff with the gain and whatnot, because I often break out into song or a rant. I'm not sure which it is, but it certainly doesn't sound good when I've heard it back, and I've thought, you know, and then I've got comments from people saying things like, oh dude, the best thing you do is when you rant, and if only the audio was sort of quieter. So I don't know, I was always caught between two stones, and I thought, well, I could maybe stop the ranting. Oh my god, I'm just out this bath, I say just, but it's been a while. Pardon me. Yes, so it was like that. But now I just thought, fuck it, right? Pardon my language. So I just thought I'll stop swearing, I'll stop ranting little bits, right, and get into the price action. Price action is so I can afford to turn the mic up to the top level, which is where we have it. I'm also in a different room which has less soft furnishings, perhaps a more appropriate amount, so I have a crisper tone. I'd rather you blow my ears out than not hear you when you mumble. Me? Mumble? Yes. The haters took to calling it Mumble TA. And, well, all my internet buddies out there, they embraced the name and they're like, we love the mumbles. We love the mumbling TA. And I, being a lazy Scotsman, after half an hour, tend to stop moving my mouth. So, thank you very much for keeping up with my poor enunciation. I love the title of the stream because I'm upset about my July the 16th call option performance. You need a compression limiter plug into your microphone. And more ranting, says Brightspark. Yes, I do. I got this particular mic because it's got a compression and a limiter built in, which I turned off because I felt that too restricted my range. And so I have no idea what I'm doing. I just turn things off and on. But I expect you are spot on, Brightspark. You are with nearly everything you say. I expect... And I say nearly everything because you have got the odd question wrong on the treasure hunt, the odd question, the odd answer, but you're closer than anyone else, I can tell you that. And my lord Harry Buttcheeks is here. Thank you for showing up, my lord. It's appreciated. How can you not like this new setup? Same great channel. Hit the like button. Is this a good setup? Have we got a good setup on the go? You can see here. Look at the state of me with this thing. I mean, I don't mean my hair, which itself. Let's just enough said about that, right? Tradespotting. Shut up and tell me GME is going to a grand today. A grand today? Whoa. Whoa. Well, I'll try my best to get the TA looking, well, I'll show you as it says. I know what it is. It is what it is, and we want to see it, so we'll get to it. Restrict your range. Ha 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 ha. Hey, Ozen. O'Sheen. Sorry, I got your name wrong. Kim. Good morning, Kim. Big Jamie. Big Mike. How you doing, Mike? I turned on my TV audio to leveling, and it helps too for the show. Audio to leveling on your TV. I have no idea what that means. It's essential. But maybe other people do, and it's a good tip for them. H. Jones. Supernova. Please stop the rants. I'm vicariously through the rage. Yeah, I know. I mean, I watch it back and I'm like, oh, I get emotional. You know, watching me. Obviously, you would, right? I don't know. But I mean, I don't watch it back for the same reasons other people might do. I'm trying to see what it is that I've missed in chat usually. Jamie's mic goes to 11. Yay, bigger Jamie. Yeah, I'm huger now. Look at me over here. I am huger now. What the hell is up with my hair? Can I make this any better? Yeah, so I've got a green screen in order to get it as good as I have. It's been ages, so long. And it's crap. I've got on this video capture device the chroma key filter, which itself is just, if I just turn it on, right, I'll show you, I'll turn off everything so you can see, right? That's what it looks like. This is the magic, the behind the scenes magic, right? You'd think that looks like a perfectly good green screen with quite a well evenly lit and no creases, right? It should be easy. From this point on, it should be easy. That camera that you're watching me through is a Sony a6-400. So it costs like shitloads of money and should be absolutely dandy. And this computer has got a new graphics card in it, which can handle all of this shit. And yes, I am a poor Jamie again. And no, I'm no fucking better at doing the YouTubes. It just goes to show. So I turn on the chroma key, right? This is the first one. And I'm like, there's the green gone, right? And it is to an extent, but I've still got a horrible green outline. So I was like, maybe another chroma key will fix that. And I turned that on, and you see, like, there's a tiny difference there. If you see it off and on, like, off, on, off, on, off. Right, it's like a tiny little bit less green. And then I was like, there's another chroma key, get rid of all the green. But that makes me look literally dead. So we turn that one back off, but I'm still a little bit green. and then the colour correction. Oh, look, that one worked. Oh, that's okay. But I'm still a little bit green, but that's better, isn't it? Oh, it's better. And then I've got this one. So also another colour correction, which kind of adds a tint of hue. So it brings me back to life, but then it's all like, making up for mistakes and looting out. What's this chroma key do? Does that make me dead again if I turn it on? Go on. There's another chroma key, so that's that one. And then what about this one? That's making me look dead. Right, so this is what we've got, folks. This is what we're with. And, all of these settings are individual, of course, right? Of course they are. Of course my horse, because of the lighting and whatnot. So I think what I really need is better lighting. This is just the living room and the lights. Just the living room light, so I expect that is the issue, but I don't know. I actually have no idea what I'm doing. Did y'all hear that? Jimmy just said it's going to a grand today. Someone clip that. Shit. GME going to a grand today. Everything I say on here, Frostcrest, is a question. Everything. Part of the difficulty with YouTube is that it seems as though I'm presenting the information, but truthfully, everything I've said is just a question. And if my accent would allow for it, you would see or hear an inflection at the end of each sentence, which represents the coming question mark. For anyone to start turning around saying, "I sue you for financial advice that lost me monies," well, you'd be wrong because I was asking you questions. So, Jennifer King Kangle, right light, ring light, cheap on Amazon. I've got this little ring light, but it shines on me, not the back, not the screen behind me. And I'll try turning that on and see what happens. And I expect everything gets worse. Can I try turning that on? I can't even see it. I can't even see the. Got 950 order. You got it, Adam. You got it. Yeehaw! And you had the patience to hold for it. Congratulations. Excellent work, mate. Excellent news, Adam. Adam has joined with another order. Well, I mean, I say joined. He's been here for ages. Adam has added. Adam has added. Bless you, Adam. Also, it's going to depend on your monitor, mate. Colors aren't the same for everybody. On my monitor. I also got this monitor there before, and it's like a big wide ass one. So, anybody out there play Transport Fever? Do any of you play Transport Fever? I got Transport Fever too, and I've been waiting for a time to play it. Stupid Kenny offering 1XX holiday deals still. Kenny offering 1XX holiday deals. Yeah, it's like it's just a hangover from the weekend day. He's not updated his website yet. Hey guys, the sale should be finished ages ago. This is the thing with Kenny. He's never knowingly undersold. So if you're looking for cheap GME, he's your man, right? He's your man. Never knowingly undersold. That's his motto. Like, if you can find something out in the world cheap, you just go to him. He'll get it cheaper for you. That's his business, really. When it boils down to it, that's his business. We might drop to 180, but I don't care. Just bought another XX at 198. Nice buy. Yeah, I don't care either. It's Daniel Assange with a $5. That's appreciated. Thanks very much, Daniel. Oh, it reminds me I should get on and do real work. Thanks, Daniel. How are you doing, mate? This is the way. Good. Oh, we got the alerts. The alert. I can make that bigger. No one can see that. Down. When it's important to see, right? I think it is. I mean, if people are wanting to see my bum as Harley Quinn, then you got it there for a brief instance. You might as well get it bigger in your face if that's what you're looking for. Daniel Assange, just super. That was super Streamlabs. Why am I reading out what you've got to say, Streamlabs? Luke Spears, lol. Good morning, Luke. How are you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Good. Both those restrictions are gone. What are those bloody restrictions? Get rid of them. Is it all the mayonnaise he hoards? Yeah. He's just got so much of it in it. Like, what are you going to do? You know, I mean, mayonnaise lasts a long time considering the constituent ingredients. Eggs does. Surprising how long it lasts. But eventually everything goes off. Unless you store it in a tin. And like, even then, have we lived long enough to test that? I opened some cat food out of a tin the other day, and tell you what, that did not live up to the specifications of what a tin should do. Oh yeah, Calibrate your monitor colors. May change. Looks good now though. May change for you guys. How's me changing my monitor going to change anything for you guys? Are you crazy? I mean, I am technically inept. But for goodness sake, GME's little monster. Oh. Right, so I'll fire seal. What are you getting at now? 19782. 19782. What a lovely price. So we're coming in for our previous lows over here on left, is it? Sort of, anyway. You just got $5 something. Enjoy, homie. You just got $5 on something. Enjoy, homie. Sweet. Well, I put it on. That's very generous. Thank you very much. I will put it on a credit card bill. Or, well, we topped up the credit card bills there. We like to just top them up. We get them right down. Get them right down to like, yeah, that's nice and manageable. We could probably pay that crap off. Like, get it to there. And they're like, yeah, but we could get a new camera. And then we could put all this extra money towards it. And get an even better one and be silly. And that's what I did. Okay, fine, I'll settle for you making yourself very small and riding the chart like a really coaster. Hi, yeah, I could do that too. Oh, and there's another one. Look at that, lovely. Can you do it with your both hands? I like that. The greatest! Thank you very much, Existential. I shall put it on food. The greatest. I think they're saying what it's showing you might not be what it's showing us, but it looks good at the moment, so I don't think there's a problem. Okay, great. So you guys have got it okay. Okay. I also have a delay, right? Because it's like this, the audio and the camera is different, and also it was an audio delay, so I had to fix that shit. I swear that sort of stuff. Like, such a head wreck. Some say Kenny rubs the mayo on the skin. Yeah. You seen this? I think it's dead funny. I've been doing it everywhere now. Like, people are talking to me and they're like, that's not how you spell it. But they say something, and even if it's not funny, I just respond with Lamau, but like L-Y-M-A-O. Yeah, that's it. L-Y-M-A-O. So it's Lamayo. So, like, is that even what it is? L-M-A-Y-O. I think it is Lamayow. Lamayow. So I'd be saying it to my mum and my dad and everyone. They're like, what is wrong with you? But I chuckle lots. Lamayow. Great haircut, Jamie. Looking good. Thanks, Liz. I'm just out of the bath. Fail to deliver. Keep doing your thing, mate. Damn right. It's brilliant. Some killer jams there, too. And some stuff that reminded me a little of the G.I. Joe dubs with the comedic timing. Love it all. Oh, I feel what you're talking about. Failure to Deliver's got, like, absolutely spot-on comedic timing. Perfect. And he manages to put it right across in his videos with the audio on them and the way things kicking are amazing. Lamau, yeah, that's it. We're famous. Lamayo. So anyone says anything funny, it doesn't even have to be funny. Just respond with LMAYO, right? And these little cultural ways of spreading the word are amazing. They are like freaking drawing a fish in the ground when you're one of the apostles. Just executed XXX shares. David P, you did it, mate. Congratulations. Oh, you got in there at the bargains prices too. So let's talk about that. I mean, that's between David and sugars. I've got the names. I've got to remember people's names. Try this. Can't go through all the way finding people's messages back up here, can I? Mike. No, where? Adam. There it is. Adam. It was Adam. Adam and David P. Between them have added thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds there. Excellent, guys. Right, so yeah, so we're going to do this. Now, I can't click the full screen button because it doesn't fit on everybody else's screen, so I have to work on these restricted, tiny confines. What's this, 15 minutes? Got this awful-looking pretend-ass channel on the go here. I say pretend because, like, you know, it's not really a channel, right? Like, the truth is, it looks like one because the higher lows, like, there's only 2 touches on the bottom, right? So for a start, this isn't real, so take that off. This line that was going, like, sort of equidistant between them, like, that's not really real. Like, the truth is, it could be something like this. And, like, if you do it like that, that's still 2 touches or 2 through it. That's stupid. You don't want to get 3 touches. It's like, ooh, are you going to do that? There isn't 3 touches, right? There just isn't. So, like, and people draw it, like, they could do it like that and say, like, oh, it's snipped out the bottom there. And fair enough, right? Like, that happens a lot. You're on 15 minutes. Let's take it up and say, well, on the 4 hour, yeah, it looks kind of better there. Those look kind of better there, you know? Also, one of the reasons for that other line was it did have some confluence comes in around this effortless level. I also bought XXX shares today at 200. Yo, Supernova, nice one. So that's XXX. So, but can't add up XXX. It's like it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But we suffice to say that it feels like a bargain down here to you, then I'd agree. It also feels like one to me. Well, my first super chat did not go as planned. I got 5 on it. Is a song by the rapper Little Troy, American lingo for throwing down some money on herbs, or other party favors. I got 5 on it. Yeah, 5. Like, just 5. I mean, on a super chat, it's really appreciated. The $5 super chat is. But with regards to party favors, I don't know. Like, is this is like back in 1920s parties? Is it? I mean, back then, you $5 would go a long way. But nowadays, well, that ain't gonna buy many favors. I don't think. I guess full access here though, full access, and like just look you up on my OnlyFans later. Cheers. Juro, price soon, moon. I wait for 190. I wait and wait and wait. I shall wait. 19587. Right, so this looks like a period of consolidation. It's hard to draw a channel around it. The shapes all look different on different timelines. Even on the 12 hour there, you're not getting anything like 3 touches on the bottom. Sorry, that's a 4 hour, but 12 hour again, similar deal, right? You're not getting them. That's the best you can do is like that on the daily, and that's a gain with this line through it, and a close. If the body close was like, maybe you could take this like to this wick, and then through that body, like you don't even get that, right? This is how it's like, because so I'm sort of going on. I'll go on to explain why I'm drawing these this stupid shit. Ah, God. Pardon me. Right, so this line on the top, right, you can see it's got multiple touches, and you go through all these different timelines and you see that it's always coming in here and touching the top and bouncing down. So this is like reliable to the point that it does what you're looking for it to do. And you get to the 2-day time frame, it's sort of like as close as you're going to get, and you still have to discount a wick. It's just that you don't have a body going through it to get this sort of a wedge. Now that's okay, right? That's okay, but I hate wedges, so like that really put me off. 3 days again, you can see, like, because of the nature of the way those closes came in, well, the 2-day like had a good recovery. The 3-day actually went dunk down there. Dunk. And then as you see on the weekly, it's all a little bit more easier to see, right? It's also clearly in a downward movement. You've just had 3 consecutive sized downward candles. You're just going to have to use rehypothecated Wendy's dumpster. HJ's is collateral soon. Hey, Paul, come on down to Kenny's Discount Warehouse where the staff are short and we got our own private pool. I've been averaging up for the last month, but I think a limit order is due today to average down. How are these crooks still shorting this? Well, there's lots of people shorting this. You know, it's not just the short hedge funds. There's like loads of people out there that are like, yeah, you know, I'm short in GME, and the thesis at this point seems to be, from what I can gather from reading a lot of what they've said, and like they send it to me, trust me, they think that I'm for some reason their audience. It's like, irony there is outstanding, but I read it, right, because they're like, fuck it, why not, right? And it seems to be generally that what the whole entirety of their argument is that people are stupid. The majority of people are stupid. And so, fuck it. They seem to imagine everyone that's in GME then it constitutes like stupid people, and that because they feel like they are smart, then they think they deserve money, right? So that they go make the opposite decision to those people they believe that are stupid, somehow thinking that their intellect it will then somehow result in them getting money. And what they don't realize is that, like, they demonstrably prove that they're stupid by thinking that way, right? And so the whole thing like smacks of irony. It's really annoying. Like, there is no real bullish thesis at the minute. There's like retrace ideas, and like now you're on the weekly time frame. You're looking at that one, right? it's come from here. It's had 1, 2, and perhaps there's another touch and around to 180, like Harriet and, or was it D was saying, or somebody was saying. Anyway, right, and you could draw that in various different little ways, and you can go across the time frames, and it does look as though there's something there. Right, the reason why I had draw on the weekly here is because on the weekly I'd put some stock in just one one diagonal line. Otherwise, you know, it's not real TA. Like, I know it looks good and it might help you on some whatever, and like, you might say to me, but like, sure, the 7 minute time frame is the same as the 7 week, and in terms of technical analysis, and like, look at it like this and like that, and I say, like, fuck, it isn't, man, right? It isn't. That's not the way diagonal lines ever fucking work, right? And if you ever go out, if you're right, this is what I say to anyone who believes in diagonal lines, because I get this question so often, right? You ever see anywhere anything written by a technical analyst that that I might respect, or will have come up with something like good, right? Just send me any of his quotes where he talks about that, or her quotes, or they talk about diagonal lines. Like, just tell me that. Now, I understand that there's other set concepts, right? And to draw certain formations, you need to draw diagonal lines, and that's all cool. I'm not saying that that's stupid, right? There is points to these things. And then when you go across from the top, you're like, well, it's the same problem, Jamie. Where do you get 3 touches in here? And it's like, well, you have to go like that. You have to go across here, and you have to say it's this body, it's these wicks, and this one is really quite confident with it, and that just going a tiny little beyond it. That's totally reasonable, right? It is. And like, there's other reasons why you could say, like, these two body heights are very close, despite this one being slightly higher. And obviously we talked about like the implications of that at the time, and which is partly why we're down here. Anyway, so we're on this 3-day time frame. You got this like sort of little, let's call it a wedge, downward sloping wedge. Now, how do these normally play out, right? If it was true, well, oops. Oh, we don't need that one anyway. We'll just build up our pictures. So normally you like take the first top to bottom within it, and then whenever it breaks out, you draw it out of that. And very commonly, what happens is you get 60% on that move, and let's say that us off the top of our heads, something like that. That would be totally understandable. Pardon me, because it'd be coming in also at what is like on the lower time frames. Let's look at them, where we had a number of closes here, like since the drop started, right? You might say, like, not the drop started, since this period of consolidation is what it is, right? Because this is consolidation, and there's loads of different ways of talking about it, but that's what it is. Since we got in here, they've put a number of closes in terms of wicks and body closes in around this level, right? And well, it has looked like a series of lower lows into lower highs. It's also true to say that when we have reached our top, it's been in around that level where the 60%-ish of this comes in at, which is around 222 point, or 224 or 225.50 if you want to be absolutely sure. And so that's what that is. And this is like, if anything, this leg of this formation is bullish, right? And lots of people will be expecting this to move back up. It's not crazy TA. It's not scary. It's not a big deal. Why has my prices moved, mate? I set them up specifically so that would work, and now it's not working. Giddy. Well, you're only going to set them up so they would work, wouldn't you, Jamie? That's a bit redundant. Tautological, whatever. Well, I know it's GME, that's for sure. But does it have a price? This was looking good earlier. I mean, that looks good to me. If you've got liquidity, that looks great to me. Isn't it funny? It is funny, but why is that not working? There, gotcha, you cheeky bugger, you. I'm back then, right? Sorry, you know what it's like. You've seen me before, right? So GME 195.99. You can go over there too. Yeah, right. Yeah, 195.99. What are we talking about? This leg of this formation is in itself is inherently bullish. It comes at the end of this. People would say, "Oh, is that a bear flag?" It's like, well, no. Obviously, look at the flag rate. It's like twice as long as the pole and whatnot, and that's a silly conversation to be having. So, what we've already talked about is cup and handle, and we said, and like a lot of people said, well, there is one chap. I don't know what his Reddit username is now off the top of my head. Sugar. Anyway, he put together its TA. And I don't think I'm being over the top or arrogant to say that some of it, to a degree, was picked up from learnings he's done here with you guys on the channel from the stuff I've been presenting. And he wanted to post on Superstonk like with some credit to me, but obviously the Superstonk, if you say my name on any post on Superstonk, your post will get deleted automatically. So that won't, unfortunately, didn't work. But he still managed to get it out, and it's excellent TA. And why am I fucking talking about that? Oh, right, yes. In the responses to it, which I delved in there and thought, well, there's people actually tagging me in comments and asking me questions, so I'll try and answer them. And then in some other ones, people were saying like, oh, no, this isn't possible because the cup and handle can only go between 30 and 50%. I read it in a book. And it's like, what was your book called? Because it was called Investopedia, right? It's a piece of shit, right? It is a piece of shit, right? It is. Investopedia is absolutely crap. There is so much misinformation on there that sections of the site should just be taken down. They're complete bollocks, right? And furthermore, learning the wrong way slows you down so much because it's so hard to unlearn bad habits. And I get so pissed off with shite on Investopedia. Like, I feel that it's crap. Really crap. And it also fills people with a sense of like, well, this is what it is. No, you're wrong because I read this on Investopedia. It's like, it doesn't matter, right? What you read anywhere. These people that you most respect that you read, they've tested their stuff empirically, right? You can go back and look at it and see what they tested and see why they came to the results they did and what the reliability of any of their stuff is. And William J. O'Neill, who came up with a cup with handle, I'm going to call it a cup and handle, and then telling me I'm wrong, or this guy on the internet. He's not wrong, right? He said plenty of times that it'll react differently in different circumstances, and again, on different assets. Anyway, right, when you see this sort of thing happening, and I say this sort of thing, I mean a close here, right? You see this close, right, on the daily, it's up there, but look at it on the 2-day, right? This is higher than that previous high, right? And it's got divergence, right? It's higher than this previous high, and it's got divergence, right? Bearish divergence, higher on price action, and it's lower on your volatility, right? Which isn't particularly relevant. Your volume, again, not particularly relevant, but both your trend is like showing divergence in its thrust strength and in its momentum, right? So there's two reasons why it'd be divergent at this top here, which is confluent and above this other one. And in those circumstances, you can expect a retrace with your handle to at least the 618 and it still be bullish, right? That's what he says, the guy who invented it. So stop fucking arguing with me on the internet, right? You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. If you don't believe me, look it up, right? It'd take you 5 minutes. Anyway, that's over, right? That's over. You can get that, right? Just don't shut up with this. It's failed. The cup went beyond 50%. That's not TA, right? This isn't the Dodgems, right? Anyway, so why am I talking about that 618? Well, let's look at the 618, right? Oh, I don't know, guys, right? There's your low, there's your high. Your 618's in here. We're in around the 618. Look at that. You got to the 618. Look at that. You can expect a test of the 618 there. And there it is. There's the test of it. Right? We're just having it now. So people or 2 or 3 days ago were like, it's already failed. It's like not even reached its target yet. Calm down. You silly fanny. Right? It's the 618. It's there. Right? So you're like 50% in it. Where's the 618 compared to 50%? This is a percentage. Where have you been? Anyway. Hey, look, well, this formation actually looks like we're getting somewhere now as well from this low, right? And if this comes down a wee bit more, it's kind of on it already, but so we run 2-day, what are you really doing it to? Going at the 4-hour, sort of, it's just there, 1, 2, 3, yeah, you could go from here and you could draw that, it looks real, and you could draw this. And you can say that's lower low in here and a higher, lower high than here. You could say that body close, it's not closed obviously, it's got another 3 hours and 5 minutes. This 4-hour candle, which has only just begun today, it's like, and as you can see, that it's very common. It'll have wicks all over it. You can expect more wicks, and if it goes down more, you'll expect that to come back, wick, and not just be a wick. What are these smiley faces for? People smiling in the chats, the funnies. Cool, smiles in the chats. What am I talking about? Anyway, where did I read about William J. O'Neill stuff, right? Not on Investopedia, right? And most commonly, in the last couple of years, Rocky and I have read shitloads of books about trading over the years, right? Shitloads. And in the last couple of years, we've thought, well, let's like take all these different authors that we most respect, and let's look up everything else they've ever said, right? We can ever find about anything to do with technical analysis that they've ever said. And sometimes that's meant that we've had to spend ages acquiring really old journals that they've wrote articles in decades ago to read what they've said about certain things, right? And I'd urge you to do the same, right? It's fun. It's it's great looking that shit up. It's great finding it, getting that stuff sent through the post, finding it on the internet. All of that stuff's brilliant, right? And you can find so many things that these legends came up with and then published a book, right? Like O'Neill published that in like 1988 about the cup handle and shit. And yet years and years later, he's in journals for traders, right? Writing huge articles about all the things he's learned since and added on. And nearly every technical analysis ever come out with anything has done that. Years later, they've added this stuff on, they've added the next stuff on. And or they've clarified like how they use the indicator they created, like Wilder did with the RSI, because he fucking put it out there. And God, people were so stupid with it at the start, and now they've got a general idea of what they're doing, right? But back for the first while, people were complete idiots about what they were doing, and they needed further clarification from him as to how things worked. And it's the same with all of these things, right? Same with all of them, and they get tweaked, they get improved, and they all change, right? Same, especially so with Bilkowski's patterns, right? And that's this idea of the 60% thing. That's entirely all like revision stuff where he's like, well, let's fix that, let's fix this, a real easy fix is 60%, etc. Imagine Jamie going into a meeting with Fannie Mae. Which one is the Fannie Mae? Fannie Mae, Fannie hello, Fannie. John J. Murphy is a legend. Haha, JC is me too. I just think it should be a Bing Bong. I'm right, you're wrong. Well, but really, I ordered a Bing Bong t-shirt that got here this past weekend. I love it. Kala, yes. Yes, that fantastic is too, Kala. A page and an Investopedia about naked short selling had the term hedge funds removed from related back in April. So they just took that out too. They're like, oh shit, we better not say anything to upset the hedgies. What with us being Investopedia. Jamie, you're a legend in my book. Thanks, Hannah G. Thanks. Right, so what was I talking about? Yeah, I was just being silly, Like, the truth is, like, you can if you really do want to get into technical analysis and you do find one particular thing to be interesting, it's good to investigate the author as much as possible. So, for example, people spend literally years of their life trying to perfect Elliott wave techniques and have absolutely shit all idea about how fucking crazy Elliott wave actually was. So I've got no idea what it is that real experienced traders do to tweak that stuff and to make it work, and what sort of situations it applies, and which you don't even think about using it, right? And I think that's a good thing for everybody to take on board, right? That you can get really, really, really into, like, how do I do this exact thing? And you might be misunderstanding how it was intended to be used, right? Like, for example, people who send me messages, right? And what are you playing? And you'll, yo, Alex Romley, thanks so much. Welcome to Chimp. Thanks so much, Alex. Really appreciate it. Welcome everybody to Alex. Cheers, mate. What was I just saying? Aye, like, I'll get sent stuff and it's got like, so people will send me charts and they'll have their RSI set to something like 30, right? A 30 period look. Like, what is it? Why are you doing it? You can't just put numbers into your indicators to make them look like whatever it is you want to make them look like, and then go, wow, that's so bullish. That's not the way it works, eh? Like, and if you're doing that, you're just like you're like, stop doing that. Right, and so like use the 14 period look back on your RSI for God's sake. Or like at least come up with some fucking reason for why you wouldn't be. Like what? Yeah. So this line, what are we on here? 4 hour. What's the prices doing? They're at 196.87. Tell me, like you see up here, right? I've got the prices all the time on screen. So if you're actually watching now, you'll always see them. And if it moves, I'll move them back. And it says GME, which is the asset I'm on, 196. And if I change to a different asset, what does it do? It comes up with that, but the price is like slightly different area. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just not look at other assets then, eh? How about that? 196.87. And would we call this a demand line? Well, not really, because downward sloping. It's neither, nor is it this line, right? So like, and putting this wedge shape on it, it's like, okay, it's good, right? And it's kind of like, if that's all you were doing, and you actually had to go and meet your girlfriend, right? Boyfriend, whatever, you were leaving the house and you're like, hey, that's fine, shit, not desperate to worry about, this looks reasonably bullish formation despite the fact the prices are going down, that's cool, I'll just go away, whatever, right? And you're not panicking, that's fine, I can understand. But actually, like, these lines themselves are just there to give this idea of where, like, it's so easy that prices could move back up to what is our former resistance. That's why I've got it there, that's why I have that formation there, and you can probably tell I don't particularly like it, right? What I actually like a bit more about these sort of things is looking at the horizontal support and resistance, which at the minute we're lower than, right? And then you come in and look at the indicators to say, well, why is it, like, what is behind this, like, new extreme, right? Because this would be a new extreme if prices close down here, right? It'd be lower than here, and anything since we went up there, so it'd be a new extreme. And if there is a new extreme, right, you'd expect to see something on your indicators with regards to volume, volatility, momentum, or trend that also gave you a confluence with this new extreme, right? Something somewhere would also have to be at a new extreme, or else what the fuck's going on, right? Price action's going against like every possible sign in the market. So as prices drop down at 196.03, you should definitely be able to see something here. Now, what is it? Well, we can see that on the 4 hour DMI, this is starting to slope up, so the ADX is getting some semblance of strength, like there is something being put towards one side of the trend, and that side that's currently dominant, according to the DI minus and DI plus, is the downtrend, right? So yeah, sure, but this thing seems to think that things have just started, like 1, 2, 3, 4 candle closes again, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that truly reflective of a downtrend beginning, or is that representative of the move that we've already seen in those 4 candles, which, you know, has taken us down there, or whatever it is, like 4 or 5, like, what actually is it? 204 to 195, so $9, so that's like 4% more, give or take, like a bit. And that's like that. And is that all you're going to see from this? Like, possibly, right? Possibly. It's directional movement index, right? The directional movement index is kind of in the word. My lord, D-hands, no problem. I mean, the whole purpose of us mods is to keep the chat positive and healthy. So yeah, thanks for understanding. Yo, my lord butt cheeks. My lord butt cheeks out there, giving it up for you. Thank you very much. Since I've made you a mod, I've been very, very impressed and very, very grateful. Thanks, my lord. Very, very grateful to have such good people around me, yourselves included, chat. So D hands. Who's D hands? Can't be a D hands. There's no D hands. Really, there's not a D hands. I do know a D, but he's not D hands. But where is D hands? What happened? Let me see what happened now. I want to know. Top chat. Why are you on? I turned it to live chat earlier. Mom, I'm interrupting things to see what had the hands. Let's not talk negatively of other people. I mean, you have your opinion, but you don't need to spread them if they're negative. Unless it's Kenneth. Let's see, who else D hands talking about? I want to get in here. Maybe I fucking hate the bugger too. I'm a little that finds Andrew as is a fanny. Oh, I've never heard of him. Hello D hands. I thought it was someone else was talking there. Nice to meet you, D hands. Although I think I actually have seen your name before. I've no idea who that is. I have no idea who that is, so I can't comment. But also, like, yeah, my lord is right. Keeping it all positive, yo. But really, Harry, I don't have a specific role for the mods. Like, you take one upon yourself. Really, you make it your own. Like, that's the truth. Why have I got OK will do mining boom typed into my chat that I haven't sent it? I must have sent it earlier. That's for a message from mining boom when he said something. Oh, it was about the green screen. Just do it, go live and let us see it or whatever. So that's that done anyway. That'd be cool. What happy boy be cool? Eat, no problem. Cool. Is that a horse? I mean, you never know. He may be an ape. Who's we talking about? Harry Bitties, Chris, Julia. You want a jewel? Chris K's going to jewel you, Harry. He'll sort that out right out. And there's people being nice people. Let's love all you do. Good feeling there. Look at all that. That's nice. D Harker. Okay, fine. I buy more here then if you won't give me 185, 195.90. Well, I'm not saying you won't get it, but look at this. Comes in at right. It comes in around here at your 618. It goes down to 192 point. Right. We'll call it 85. It says 92, 82 on my screen, but let's call it 192.85. Let's actually call it 193.50. 193.50, that's the right side of it. Mind you, that's not to say it doesn't go down to the 177, 180 level, right? We keep talking about this, but and then like I don't put my I don't put any weight on or expectation on this cup and handle. I use it as a cup with handle. Stop it now! I'm doing it. I don't put any weight of expectation on it, and frankly, I actually don't give a flying shit about anything I see on the charts, other than what it tells me might be coming next, and then I like put that together with everything else, and what it tells me might be coming next, and then I get a better picture, and then I use that for making money. So what do you say about this, right? Well, so let's remove the idea of talking about the cup and handle and go back to what we've talked about plenty of times on this channel, which is when you go through the 236. This asset in this period of its life really likes then going to the 618. Like it really, 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 really likes it. And so what happens after that? What does that mean? It likes doing it. Well, it doesn't like doing it because it doesn't actually give two shits about anything and isn't a thing that can have those feelings. It's the people who participate in the market are like, hi, yo, see how that does that. Next time it does that, I'll take advantage of it. And so there's not necessarily just the short hedge funds, right? There's day traders and there's fandans, right? And they see it go through 236 and they go short. There's also people who want to go long, like you yourselves and us and D and everyone else there has been saying, David P and everyone else has been in the chat saying like you got their orders, And Adam there was saying the other day, like a couple of days ago, like, oh, I'm still leaving it in here, and I was like, I can't remember what I said, but probably something along the lines of fair play, right? It's like I really like taking as much risk off the possible with that order and having the patience to hold out for it day after day after day after day when it was other times it looked like it might go up or whatever. Congrats, that's really good trading, right? That's like really good trading. And patience is so important, as is like the ability to trust yourself and whatnot. Right, I can't remember. I got distracted there, so I can't remember what I was actually saying. Anyway, so like this formation, whatever, I'll do some TA. Right, you go through 236, you hit the 618, that's quite normal. And this Fibonacci is like the down to the low to the high as we did down there. And like, so where if you get, and we even did this, I think once, we said if you did get this whole move all the way down to the 618, and that was your new low, which currently isn't quite yet, but like it's close enough, and close enough is near enough to start doing the maths. Then you'd want, again, prices to go above the 236. And the benefit in some senses to the extension of this negative formation is that it also drags out this Fibonacci, right? It gets greater and greater and greater and greater and larger and larger. And so your 236 retrace, in order to recapture that area, as the lows go on, right, and they get pushed lower, but maybe the bodies don't close so low, but they do push the extremity of it all the way down. It gets down to 236. Then our 236 on our retracement back up the way. Then it's only in around 221 spot 80, which is great because when we were talking earlier about the measured move out of this potential wedge but it could also be loads of other things. Should it happen down here, right, and that was like an extension of the line that comes off the top here, should it happen from that sort of area, would now be above that 236. And so here you have a potential mini move. It doesn't even break this entire formation. It just takes you out of like the downward sloping resistance and above the horizontal resistance, and or at least to it, and above the 236, which would then be like, well, what's going to happen next? And the chances are it comes down and retests the bottom again, because this is what happens until you prove one side or the other. You can expect them to keep testing both. But it may not, because on top of all of those things, on the 4 hour, you can see we've got such a scrunching up of our EMAs. So like you've got potential positive crosses, and at the same time, well, not really. Like you've got a negative 20 across the, is this better be sent to 20? You've got the 20 crossing your 55, you get your 100, 200, you've got your 100, 200, right? Everything's neutral, really. You want to see prices back above these two in at around 203, 202, but like they are going to go up and down a lot all over the freaking place, and the majority of the trading in this area, right, has been done obviously in around that 236, right? Look at all these body closes just above it. Look at these ones again above it, this below it, these ones below it, like hitting it. It's just all obvious, right? Yes. So what are we doing? We're looking for this extreme. It's not really an extremely lower than any of these here. I mean, it is a touch though. We've got your DMI suggests that that's not necessarily divergent. That's nor is it to be expected. It's just what it is. Let's quick look at the MACD and say it's lower on price action. It's higher here. So like new low on price action. I'm not looking at this. Well, actually, let's turn these off because it's getting people get confused. If I yow's it, turn off the MACD, turn off the signaling. So I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about divergence. How do you spot divergence on this one? Look, right. Is that a new extreme on the indicator? No, it's hugely bullish, right? That's hugely bullish divergence. If this turns out to be a low, which you only know when this price is above this 236, and if this goes lower, then that 236 will also itself move lower. But how far do these prices have to go, right, for in order to this to be confluent, for this to be confirmed as like legit? This momentum has to be lower than this. This is the previous low. Has to be lower than here, or this obviously already divergent. It's already bullishly divergent there, because this low and this low are lower than each other, whereas this is so much higher, right? That you're gonna have to like literally die for this not to end up being bullish on 4 hour with that sort of formation, right? And then you look at that and you say, well, what is this then if it is a bottom and it isn't a wedge? And maybe it is a wedge and that, and it'll play out over a period of time to be a wedge. But in the meantime, it could just be something like this here, right? You know, that's not a head and shoulders, but like it could start to be like some type of W bottom, right? I know that there's like an extra leg there, some people say, but this is the way these things work, right? You could see there's like 5 there if you wanted. And it may well prove to be something like that. You'd have to see. But the divergence on the MACD was just perhaps it is. Then let's look at the RSI. The RSI. Now you'll have seen Rocky using Caretaker's indicator. Let me see if I can just get that up now actually as well, because I do like that guy. Chop it up, oh, and it is good. And let me see. Sorry people. There he is. Bum, 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 bum. Let me see. Probably need access to get this and probably don't have it. Works. Yeah, I can't get it because you need access to that script. Oh, the world seems to be there, so what's up with my Charlie? Whoa. anyway, right? So it's not all that different. We can spot divergence yourself, so you don't need it, right? But let's stick on Rocky Outcrops one with AMA cross, which is kind of helpful as well, and of itself, and then scale it to the right. You should be trading view, do that properly. We can see here that indeed we do have a lower low. Well, not really. It's kind of. I mean, it's the same. Like, I mean, not really. As in, no, it's not. It's the same. So if this did turn up, that'd be clash B, right? They're equally low on the oscillator, but lower on the price. Not staggeringly positive on the 4 hour in that sense. On 12 hour, you can see that sure, getting a little bit lower than here, but like the divergence between these 2 points is close. Right here and here, obviously prices are nowhere near as low as that, and RSI nearly is. That's not great either. Like there's nothing that RSI is telling us that's very positive. Failed to center line there when you could have tried to break the top of the pattern. Below the EMA, at the same time we've seen that our DMI is losing the positive trend in the short term. That comes after this divergence at the top from these 2 highs. 2 touches of that. I mean, you'll be looking for some positive reaction here. EMA is below the 55 period. See, this is like obviously a daily time frame, so you're waiting a long time to see if that closes, and I would expect it to try up even if it was going down for a wee bit. And there, 15 minutes, you can see, is there anything to see here? Potentially a little bit of that. Potentially covers this, slowly climbs out of the oversold here. Price action lower than it has been previously, but RSI not lower, so like this is the lower time frames in the 15 minutes, and you can see RSI is nowhere near as low as it was over here. Price action's way lower. If this does turn around, even on like the smaller time frame of what it is, right, and what would that be? Well, you can still do this. You can't do this. I've got it down here. Just click there. Yeah, you got it. Right. Whoa, yo. So it only needs to get above like 198.01 and put in a 15-minute close and another open one, and you'd say, well, this could be marked as a down, as a low. You could say it's bullishly divergent from here, and you'll expect then a top to the back, a test up at the top of the range, and there you've got 3, 1, 2, 3 touches there. So this will be the top of your range and around here somewhere, and if this closes here, which it looks like it's going to, if this goes back up to 198.17, which is only like $1 more, and this candle closes in 12 minutes, so it's got plenty of chance of doing that. This is just going to close, and then prices are just going to go back to 200, right? Maybe 208. Like there's a 618, so we go through the 236. Expect prices to be back at 201. Like that's just what's like. And then when they're back at 201, and you didn't buy at 196, 195, 80, 196, 96, 197, 20, 197, 20 years right now, when you didn't buy at that price, then you're like, oh well, when do I buy, right? It's like, and that's the question I'd have for you. If you're waiting to buy and you're going to buy at some point, when do you want to buy, right? And I'm not a fan of catching knives, like not because, like it just doesn't make you money, right? I'll trade anything. I'll trade any type of way that makes money, but catching knives generally doesn't make that much money. And I know like every so often it can make a whack, right? I've done it myself plenty of times. It's not what I think, right? I think that you're much better off just buying at support, right? And that's the sort of thing that emphasizes support. You're at the areas we've already bounced, right? Loads, so support. And this one's got like a divergence on the smaller time frames, which suggests like, well, it's worth it, right? It's worth a shot. Plus, you know, your risk management's super easy. And then up here, what are you going to do? You're going to be like all excited because we're at the top of the range, and you're going to buy it here where it's like nearly, what is that, 15, 18 bucks more expensive. Like it's like a healthy percentage add for no particular reason, right? You're adding on 10% plus to your cost price. So if you're buying 10 shares, that's already one less you can get in total. And that is just because you wanted to buy it when it was like at resistance, perhaps. Like that doesn't make sense. You would then have to wait till it breaks through and then a retest of this zone, and then at that point you'll be questioning yourself again because you've not got the balls to buy here. Why would you then have the balls to buy it there, right? It's the same problem. You'll have the same psychology, like, but what if it doesn't hold that level? And at that point, Well, if it doesn't hold that level, you've got a huge drop to go down to test the bottom again. So in retrospect, this is a better buy, right? This is a better buy. The only way that would work is if you were putting through other breaks, right? Other breaks of horizontals. So you'd have to be seeing it going up, not fake out breakout. So you'd want to see it up above, like, again, the 236 and the bigger fib around at 224, 225.50. And you'd be looking at a retrace down to like 212 and something. You'd be like, maybe there's a place to get in. But trust me, if you feel like it doesn't work here, you'll feel like it won't work there. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It may prove to be that they're all shit. Like you can see in here somewhere it says not financial advice, although it seems to be the wrong font size. Yeah, there, it's slightly bigger. Still no more financial advice. So yeah, that's like a 236. Obviously, that's when it works out back. So where you want to see it above, and that'd be where open and close above there. You'll go with the 618. That'd be great. And so if you get above the 618, then you're maybe getting above this 20 period moving average. See how that goes. Open closes above there. You'll go up. It'll test to 55. That's where it did this rolling over, and then retest the next time. It nearly even got all the way up through the hundreds. And that, so like that's just it, and it's got a bit of positive divergence, you know. What do you want me to say? But it's red again. Aye, but it's going to go green again, and then it's going to go up again. You know, like this is the way it goes, you know. Yells, and that you could trade that, right? If you are a day trader, which I am, and I'm not day trading this, like, don't need to, right? You see this shit on literally every asset all the fucking time. You can just drop in any ticker, look at a downturn, find a tiny bit of divergence, measure it, wait till it gets to 236, trade it to the 618, get out, right? You can do that dead easy. Or the 0.5, right? Depending on what asset you're doing, you'd have to have some picture of what it's doing. You'd have to have some idea of what its behavior and market participants are like, and its overall trend, of course, right? I'm not saying just be stupid, but you can set like making money on trading. Like doesn't have to be all about like how to change your entire life overnight. It can be like how to pay like a bill, or not even taken from the market directly to make a certain amount of money is also stupid, right? So is setting like a percentage gain target or something. It's just also stupid. You got to do what the market wants, right? Or got to follow the market. It doesn't give a shit what you want, and you'll likely trip yourself up by putting demands on it. But anyway, what I'm saying is like you can do this sort of thing, right? Trading isn't all that crazy if you don't aim for the like unbelievable returns on every trade. And so, like, this is how day traders look at this sort of thing, and they'll be happy to enter 198 and help take this up to 200s again, you know. They will be, and at that point, maybe a lot of people who don't like trade are like, oh, I'd like to see us like confirm 200s, or oh, shit, I missed out getting it under 200, and then they buy it and whatever, and that's the way it works, right? And there's always new people joining the market, and they invest in nearly everything all the time, and they all make the same mistakes. And it's just a story, it's the way it goes. It's never going to change. So like you might get down, you might get down to 618. But there's bullish divergence here, so you might not, right? And if you do, it'd be even more bullishly divergent. And although these are red candles that have come in at the end of this thing, this is pointing up again, and it's nearly touching out of the oversold zone. So that's the way you want to see, and you'd like to see that start working its way through the timelines. You can see that there's divergence there. It's quite plain here on the 30 minutes. Right, that's obviously going up, and like this is obviously going down. In fact, that's obviously been going up for the whole time we've been down here. Oops, I don't need two lines there. One was perfectly good. Yeah, so like you can see that this has actually been divergent, this whole thing, right? All of these lows have had hidden bullish divergence on them, all of them. But this is a downtrend anyway, so like you got to assess it for what it is anyway, right? It's not incredibly bullish. If it covers the 236, that would be positive, and it's already up like 19686. Well, it's not say it's already. It's like closed that 15-minute candle. Wasn't bullishly engulfing, but it did threaten to be for a second, and then we may get a touch of that. That's closed down below here, so it's positive. If this closes up above, you'll get the whole breadth of that taken into this one. What about the wick there? It's not as important, but I've already started covering that. So like if this 15 minutes finishes above to 19850, that'd be bullishly engulfing. It'll continue back up and test the top of its downtrend, you know, and you need these little steps. Yeah, and if you could also, like, this is nice here. You have an opportunity to, like, on this downtrend with positive divergence, you have an opportunity to put in a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, which opening closes the subsequent candle above the 236, and that's on the 30-minute time frame. And you can see the similar pattern on the 15 minutes. And in that sense, you're given like a number of reasons to take a trade, and that's kind of helpful. And yeah, I'm saying all that when this looks like this and this looks terrible, and you're below the 236 on this retrace, and this could just go on and fall off a cliff. I'm saying all of that, yeah. But you have to have balls to trade, right? Or else you'll never make a decision. And if you're afraid of losing because you can't make decisions, then you might as well like just realize that you're not going to make decisions. It's not for you. This. Tradespotting. New. Can you discuss the RSI trends relating to GME and what levels would be considered extremely bullish or you disregard? Thanks, says Adam. Well, I mean, people tend to talk about RSI levels that are common for assets on daily or weekly charts, right? And like, ideally it would be daily if you ask me for RSI. And like I'm a big fan of Rocky's indicators. He puts a lot of time into like, you know, the how and the why. So he's got his bullish and bearish control zones in slightly different areas from other people, and there's a reason for that. And if you look at it across here, look, this has topped it here, it topped it here, it caught it here, it was just above it there, went below it, and then because it went higher, it went much higher, top here, right? It's dead obvious. Go back along it, prices are incredibly different and whatnot, and you can still see like these. This is the entry to the bullish control zone right up here, which is what I call it, although other people call it overbought. This bullish area, it's between these two sort of lines that plays a lot of its oscillations. Now, some people will say, I want to catch it. Like, I want this line to cut your top extreme level of your RSI, which in this one's 78, right? Or 79, that sort of area. They'd want it when is that where every time it turns around at? Is that the absolute max? And it's like, well, what value are you going to get out of that, you fanny, right? Because then it's happened and you didn't know anything or see anything, right? It's when it gets beyond this level, it goes crazy. That's what you want to know, right? That's how you work it out. And I'm not slagging you, Adam. I'm just sick of fucking people spending 5 minutes looking at something and then acting like, oh, I can do technical analysis. Like, no, you can't. Stick to the shite you do, right? I'll stick to the shite I do, and like together we'll get somewhere because you're making things worse. Anyway, so the RSI, no, I'm not saying you. I'm saying the people that are presenting this information that don't know what they're talking about. Where's that green line? Just from divergence on a lower time frame. So on the yeah, so people look for certain levels, right? And when it comes to anything like this, the center line's dead important, right? And you can work out where that is. It's at 50. So you're above 50, good. If you're below 50, not as good, right? And that's like as simple as it gets with RSI. Certain people look at other things and they'll say, well, I think these levels are important. And it's like, well, if you think they're important, perhaps you should make your indicator reflect that. And that's what Rocky's done here. And he's shown you that 78, 79, when prices get above 78, 79 when the RSI gets above 78, 79, having tested the area, having tested it, right? Tested it here. Didn't test it here, right? Just went up above it and then put in bearish divergence, but then and so that went to there. Actually, that was an uptrend, so not so much. Anyway, so a tiny bit touch off. Point is, when it tests it and doesn't come out, tests it, doesn't come out, tests it and it goes through it, then you get crazy ass moves, right? And if you test it, didn't go through it. Okay, fair enough. And that's up at 78, 79. So like prices when they're up at 78, 79, going crazy on the daily chart. That's what you'd like to see. RSI up at that sort of level. So rarely gets there, but when it does, you can see big moves. I mean, that was back in 2014, that big one there we saw, and when it tested the zone, and then it went on up right through, tested it there and on up again. So you got like loads of this here, right? You could have taken like 3 or 4 trades off that, and the price went up. What was that? 60% off that trade there, right? 60% move. And that sort of like, you'll probably see that lots of places. Obviously, you've got the one we did here. Prices went up, tested the area, went through it, and it did it previously here. So like in and around there and in and around here. And I mean, you don't need to tell you there's healthy chunks of percentage there. Where's the first one? Where is the first one? This sort of thing. Where was it? Yeah, tested it here, went straight on through it. Like, so this one, you're looking at a move, whatever that is, like 2,500, 600% or something, and then came up test the bottom of the zone, break right through the top, and that's like another nearly exactly the same sort of signal. But so you're looking at it, and this is why I look at these indicators. I don't just say to someone like, oh man, have you seen it that the RSI is above 65, right? Which is what other people say, and I don't mind, and it's just not the way I communicate or think about things. I think about them much more like in a picture. And it sounds as like stupid, but whatever. Care. So I might say to someone, it's important. Like the prices, like commonly will get to the RSI will get to 65, and then it's common that they'll pause, and have a think about things. It's even more common that when they get to 79, 80, right, 78, 79, 80, that they then think, well, this is really, really strong for my relative strength, and according to my past history, right, and then the price action doesn't have a brain and it doesn't think that, but a lot of people looking at it think that, and they think, well, I'll just take a break until it chills out a little bit and cools off, which is another way, perfectly reasonable way to trade, right? So so this is what you're looking at, and when you're drawing out your RSI, it's all about getting it in the bullish and bearish control zones, right? You don't want it in the bearish control zone, but when you do have it down there and you're looking at your RSI and you're adding on more than just like, well, what level's strong and what level's weak, and perhaps you're really new to trading and you're like, well, you've only really heard about the RSI and you just saw the first thing you stuck on, it's the relative strength index. A guy called Jesse J. Wilder, who came up with this thing, along with loads of other indicators, and he was really good at technical analysis, and he uses it to measure the thrust strength. And sure, certain numbers are important, but what's really important about this indicator is that you can use a look back period over approximately 14 days, and the bell curve on the statistical reliability of this indicator helps you pick tops in and around 3 days, right, in a 3-day period. If you look at the thrust strength across a 14-day look-back period and compare the moves to each other, you can pick a top within 3 days, which is amazing if you're looking at a reliable way to trade, to just make money, and you don't give a shit about the thing you're trading, and it's not this, it's more a paper-handed thing. And it's like, and I mean, anything else in the world. You use the indicators properly, right? So the RSI, it's got a look back. I mean, I'll just show you, right? The RSI EMA length 12, RSI length 14, right? And that 14 means that it's working its information out over 14 periods, right? Those periods are these body closes of the chart you're on. On daily, that's where you're getting your best value for money or your best bang for your buck on your RSI. And then you look at relative strength moves compared to each other within that time frame, right? You don't want to add that 40. You could add that 14 up, right? But you'd have to have a reason for doing it, right? You'd have to tell me why. Now, the reason it's set at 14 when Wilder came up with it is itself stupid, right? But it works, and it works for a reason, and it's statistically reliable. So if you're tweaking this and doing something different, show me why. And there are reasons why you could, and at different times and on different charts and that, and combining it with other indicators to show different things and that. And it might be interesting, but generally speaking, keep it to a 14-day period look back. If you've got an EMA on it, even better. Rocky's has. You can get it off Gumroad.com/Rocky Outcrop. You can get it for free. www.gumroad.com/Rocky Outcrop. Whatever, and there's like videos on how to install it and do shit on his channel. Whatever. Feel free to make your own choice. And so it's like, Adam, I think it was asking, like my personal way of handling things is not like that. Like like often I'll have said maybe to Rocky over the last 18 months, 2 years, well, if Rocky has been saying like, what's the RSI on Bitcoin like, right? And the other one of us will turn around and say like, it's at this number and it means it's at this number on the daily chart, and that's relevant because when Bitcoin's above whatever, it's strong. And like, watch his videos and he'll tell you all these things himself. Anyway, so like that's how you use RSI. So you would say that those numbers are where it seems like it's strong, and these ones are where it's historically really strong. But that's only so much you're getting from the RSI. The truth is, it's like really good for looking at comparisons between relative strength, right? The thrust strength between different moves and price charts. So you'd say like this one here, right? The price like went higher than it did over there, but the RSI didn't go quite as high, and that would suggest that there wasn't the same strength behind this move as there was behind this one. And then people would say, well, if that's the top now, we've put in check that top over here, let's go back down and see what the relative strength's like at the bottom, right? And that's just the oscillations that you see in price action. It's like Is here strong? Yeah, it is quite strong. Is down there strong? Oh yeah, that's really quite strong. Let's go back up and test the other one. Is it strong, right? And it's like Goldilocks and our porridge, right? And who is she stealing that fucking porridge from? The fucking bears. And I always looked at that story and I was like, who does she think she is, going in there, eating their food, sleeping in their house, like sitting on their chairs, using all their stuff? And then I realised they're just a bunch of bears. Like, they're probably out there short in the forest. She's right to turn up and start kicking the fuss. Good old Goldilocks. What is the site, Rocky Outcrop, for the indicators? The site is www.gumroad.com/Rocky Outcrop. I think that's it, right? I mean, take that. I could take it, couldn't I? If you're dropping in from Rocky Stream, smash the like button or gently poke it, up to you. Hey, thanks very much. I've just had like the most rank drink of cold tea. It's disgusting. Cachicho, how's it going, mate? Man on Earth, how you doing, buddy? God dang porridge thieves. Man on Earth designed a known pleasure t-shirt and it's fucking epic. Rocky Outcrop, how is the depth height of the handle generally related to the magnitude of rebound in price? Tried asking a couple of times, but GME is elsewhere. Chat seems interested in the answer. Shit, have I missed something? Height of the handle generally to the magnitude of rebound in price. Yes, Frostcrest. Everyone's asked about this, and I've talked about it a little bit. Rocky and I talk about this, and people are eager to see prices go crazy. So the inflection on the question is often about the magnitude of the rebound, and it's true. Like, I do talk about this too, right? Like, the clearer, more extended the formation, the more coiled your indicators at the same time, usually the greater the reaction out of it, right? This is just the way of all formations, not just up with handles. But counterintuitively, what actually happens is everybody's shitting the bed at loads of different stages, and nobody's used to stuff. And when it does move, it's quite violent, even if it isn't quite high. And then it pauses because everyone's like, "Jeepers, what's happening?" And like that sort of whatever. I mean, I'm describing it like a total idiot, but what tends to happen is, say with this, right, cup with handle or AMC's bull flag / pennant, whatever you want to look at it, right? A pennant is a bull flag, right? So if somebody tells you like, "Oh, you're saying it wrong because you're saying bull flag and they're saying pennant," just tell them shut up, right? Just be like, and so many people are so reasonable. Like, I've seen it all over the world now in the last few days. Look, we're nearly back at 200. What did I tell you? And they're like, that's not how you do it. It's like this. And the person that's getting this critique is like, "All right, thanks very much, mate." And I'm like, "Well, fair play to you. You're so diplomatic." I'd have told them to stick their head up their fucking arse. Like, I do that to people. I do that. I'm maybe guilty of that. But like, I'm also like autocratic, right? Talk to me like that if you want, and that. But don't be like, "Oh, this is right," when it's not right. You know what you're talking about. Why am I talking about that? I don't even know what I'm talking about. I was making a point. I was going to make a point about something, and I've forgotten what it was. Oh, yes, it was about the bull flags and the pennants, and people were telling people they were using the wrong word. So we got that from Investopedia, probably. Right, the truth is that in these really bullish moves, what often happens is that you consolidate at various levels of resistance, mini resistance levels along the way, and then instead of like you'd be in your dreams, you're like, well, this is a measured move, and it's like whom, right? And it looks like one of the candles from the hype videos, or like you're like, yes, but actually, like, what happens is it goes a wee bit, consolidates for more annoying times than you want it to. It goes and does it for more annoying than you want it to, and then in the end, it's all very anticlimactic. Although it gets to like stupidly high prices, it's like really fatiguing on the way there, and the whole time you've been like anxious and drawn out. So is Rocky here answering these questions? Is the Rocky even here right now? I suspect. Oh, there he is. Hello. Well, he's probably just like finished his own stream and dropping in, so he might need a little break. I hope you have a little break between your stuff, Rocky. A cup of tea. Tradespotting. Where was that site? Where was what site? What site are you looking for? Tradespotting. How come when I add EMA I only have one line, but your EMA has many rainbow lines? Am I using the wrong indicator? Yes, I've got the nice rainbow lines, as Stephen said there. I was going to make a joke, but it's poor taste, so I won't bother. But yes, this is the rainbow lines one. It's not a click. Whose one am I using here? I'm using EMA / MA. Is it crowns? Or just MA EMAs. Which ones am I using? Just normal ones. Why am I not using crowns? I think it was crowns. Oh, it's not. It's got all these. No, this is exactly the same way it works. This may be crowns. I think it is. Should be. Why does it not say his name there? Indicators, right? There, right? Get these ones. And if you're ever in this guy's chat, tell him I said hello. He's a fucking legend, right? This guy has no idea how much of a legend he is. Crown Trading Moving Averages. KROWN. Trading Moving Averages. Right? Did you get that? Are they the ones I've got? No, they're not. Yeah, they are. I don't know. I've got them on twice now. Right. And then because you're on trade, and what's handy about these ones, especially if you're not on like the paid version, if you got the wee ad down here and that, and you're not on the paid version of TradingView, they only let you add so many indicators, and then once you do upgrade your plan, like they've got some other limit that I hit every so often, until you like completely upgrade the hell out of the thing. And what am I talking about? Right. Well, it combines like 6. Is it 6? I think it's 6. Yeah, I have 7, Jamie. 6, no 6, Jamie. You can count still, thank goodness. Barely. It combines 6 into one indicator, so that you don't have to add like one and then like change the value and then add another one, change the value, because then you're limited the amount of indicators you can put on. Plus, you can be bothered dealing with like that. You want it all in one panel. And once you get them on, you hit this button here, and you've got inputs. And inputs are the periods of which you want to include in your moving average, right? And a moving average is an average price that moves as new days are added to this. To your how many periods you're looking at, but as you add new days, you take away the days at the end, right? So there'll be like this particular one here, my yellow. I like the 20 period moving average, right? We can go into why I use different numbers from other people at different time, and we can't do it right now for very specific reasons. But the reason that will all become clear. And the 20 period moving average on the yellow one here, 20 period moving average, means that it's using 20 periods to calculate an average in price, right? And those 20 periods are on whatever timeline you're on. So you're on the daily, that means 20 days. So every time there's another new day added, right, like today, it means that the day 20 days ago, right, somewhere back wherever here, where's 20 days? There's the 6th of July. So like wherever, somewhere in here. Nowhere near as far back as there. What am I on? Daily time frame. Who's that 20 days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around here. So anyway, prices were slightly higher there than they are now. So when that price gets taken off and this one gets added on, it comes from the daily close, right? So it won't happen until the end of the day. So the one we're looking at the minute is yesterday's. And what does that mean? Well, it means it's a lagging indicator. So it tells you about stuff that's already happened. But I've not got a problem with that, right? I don't I don't mind if it's a lagging indicator. That's totally cool, right? It's totally cool of other ways of managing that information. Anyway, so this is a moving average, and your 20 period one which is 20 periods, an exponential moving average. So your more recent periods are at more weight than the ones in the past. Now, does that make up for the lag? No, not at all. That's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to talk about the more recent velocity and trend. Where is it? Like to the even at the very end, right? Which can give you some help when it flicks up, and you're like, well, it's got a positive slope, which is important. You might have heard me say that about moving averages. It's their splay and their slope, and then the crosses that come with them, and then maintaining certain ones on certain time frames are also important for talking about trend. Like for example, the 9 period moving average on the weekly, the 200 period moving average on the daily, the 100 on the daily, 55 and that, like whatever, right? I mean, I've got loads of things I could spend years talking about moving averages, but I don't want to. But you get crowns then there, right? Hats off to Crown, you're a legend, and like. Amount of people you've done so many good things for, it's like incredible. Like, and like him and Rocky Outcrop the such an inspiration. Like for me personally, like especially the way they go about presenting themselves and their work. Anyway, what am I talking about? Yeah, get crowns on. That's the answer to Steph, and you'll get loads of them in one bunch. You can call them the rainbow, but there's rainbow EMAs, and there's all sorts of other stuff like the ribbon EMAs and like the EMA ribbon and that. And you'll see you'll commonly like able to identify a complete EJIT by seeing them. They've got an EMA ribbon on their chart, and them talking about like. Like there's ribbons that work, right? You look at Bitcoin, the hash ribbons, and you're looking at different things. It's like, yeah, cool. I see what you're going with there. That's awesome. I like that stuff. But see, when you're using an EMA ribbon and you're just out here talking about EMA ribbons, I mean, what is that? Is that a double moving average strategy? Is that a triple moving average strategy? What are you using your ribbon for? Like, is that a trend identifier? That's like, what the fuck? Anyway. Seriously, man. Right, so there's your moving averages. There's like different periods on them and they do different things. And you get simple period moving averages and you get exponential moving averages. And you get whole moving averages. You get all sorts of different things. But the ones that are on Crown's thing there are the ones that, like, unless you know what you're doing and you've got a particular reason for it, like, these are all great. You should enjoy them. Invalid invite. Perhaps you're talking about the Discord. Yes, the Discord links have all been turned off because somebody here who I spent plenty of time, more time individually talking to than anyone else, because he has personality issues. Like, and I say that personality issues, but they're anyway, right. The point is, right, I was really nice to this guy. Gave him loads of time a day, and I thought that it was a help to him, and so did Rocky, but it turns out that it turned him into a megalomaniac that thinks he has control over other people's lives. He's actually a huge narcissist, and he's gone around now saying that he's going to destroy our channels, he's going to report us, he's going to get taken off all platforms, he's gone out of his way. Like, this guy we've been really nice to, I've literally never done anything wrong to the guy in my life, right? I woke up to this like massive, long, abusive message from him, and then I was asking him like why he was sending me that, and then I got more abuse. Anyway, he said he's going to make sure that we can't do YouTube stuff or whatever. Be careful because I'm going to go and do this and that next thing, and he's like he's causing loads of like problems on the Discord and that, and causing loads of strife between different people. Yo, I got a donation. Also, maybe we don't need to talk about that shit anymore. Bobby has donated $10.99 for super chat. Wow. Thanks for what you do, not financial advice. If you had 5th of July $1,800 calls that you had paid $8.07 for, would you diamond hand be sweating a little bit? That's a lot of mayo. Mayo. Yeah, I should get on to the 16th of July targets. That's the point of this video, and it's in the top, isn't it? Well, I'll do my best to answer you there without saying something a little bit unethical. And obviously I can't tell you what to do with your money or your trades and that. I can tell you what I would do if I was in certain things. Lots of these $800 calls, like, and I can see why, strike prices were quite low, but there's a reason. The reason they was quite low, I mean, I'm not trivializing it, right? So, yeah, July 16th. You've got what? 8 days. 8 working days left. If you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days. 8 days till your expiry day. 8 days and a number of hours till your expiry time. But you have to shift them before close and whatnot, obviously, if you don't want to. I mean, I would imagine, Bob P, that you're doing these $800 calls because you never really planned on exercising. You're looking for liquidity from the move, and as such, and so you got calls. That means you got more than one, or does it? Maybe you just got one lot. I don't know how you mean when you're talking there, but say you got one, right, and then you would have only paid $8.07 times 100, $800. Fuck's sake, to me. $800 for the one lot. Yeah. $8.07. When were the prices like that? The prices were like that when about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago maybe, you were getting those prices. And at that point, prices of our GME were like 220 odd thing, 230, 220 maybe, 218 areas was the spot price when those call options were that price. As you approach expiry and they're not in the money, like that makes shit like dodgy for you. And then also volatility has been crushed so badly that inherent value has been reduced. So you're obviously then again premiums drop. So So yeah, I can see why you're worried, right? I'm thinking that you entered that trade 3 weeks ago, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Like, this is not. What am I doing? This is doing analysis on you, Bob. I don't win that. I mean, like, I'm not on you. On when you must have done these, made these decisions. Right. So how do I give the best possible answer? How do I give the best possible answer? I have calls for July the 16th. They aren't $800, I don't think. I might have one of them. I don't think I do, though. I don't. And I paid, like, they're much cheaper, and I paid a similar premium to you because I got them ages beforehand, right? Ooh, look at me. Point being, like, the further out your expiry, the better. You don't want to buy things that are miles and miles away from the money. I mean, I know, yeah, it's like where all the money, like, you make shitloads of money off it, but really what you do is, like, you'd try and, like, get something with slightly lower risk, and then you would, like, compound your gains over time, without needing to take as big risks, and that would result in more profitable trading. So that's like an overall thing that I'd say to anyone. It's got nothing to specifically do with you, Bob. Secondly, I'd say, like, I can't actually tell you what to do because I don't know. Like, I mean, it seems like I'm sidestepping the issue here, and I can see why you might feel that when I'm going to go on to say, but the truth is, I don't know what your risk tolerance is like, right? I don't know what it's like. So, for example, I haven't done much exercise from a, like, over and above what you would just a normal person would do, going about their day in, like, a 15 minutes here or there every couple of days, right? Little bits of exercise, nothing serious. But then lockdown started, and everyone around these neighbours all went out and started teaching people new skills and stuff. And I was trying to teach people how to trade, and there's other people giving yoga classes, and there's people doing meditation, and there was a guy who was doing parkour, and I went with a guy to do parkour. And within a couple of days, we were doing stuff that was very dangerous, I suppose you'd say, and I was just having a laugh with the people that I liked from the group of neighbours. But I still found myself jumping across buildings and whatever, and doing it in slippery conditions, and I fell, like, really far. It damaged my shoulder, tore all the ligaments there, still 7 muscles in it, damaged my hip joint, knocked my hip out a little bit, tore my adductor muscle. Like, I was in fucking agony, right? And the risk reward there was shit all. Like, my reward was nothing, right? Nothing, because no one was even looking at me. So there wasn't even, like, I could celebrate with somebody. It would just be like, I knew I did it, and to me it's worth nothing, that. So it was stupid, and the reward was I could have died, right? And I do stupid ass shit like that all the time. And so in order to make sure that I still make money when I trade, because, like, that's, like, the antithesis to trading. Trading is all about managing your risk, right? And when I say managing, I mean getting rid of it, getting it, isolating it, then getting it smaller and smaller and smaller, and then hedging against that, right? That's how you trade. You get that rid of that. So, like, and I don't know how your approach to things is to like that. So, like, so for example, somebody that's got those calls and paid $8.07, and they might be like me, right? They might be like, YOLO, fuck it, right? YOLO, fuck it. It depends how much money you've got in there and what else you're doing with your trades. That's something to think about. And then on the other hand, other people will be like, this didn't work out the way I was expecting it to. I'm alive to live another day. It's not all that big a loss, even if it is relative to them, you know. It's not irrecoverable, no matter what size of a loss it is. It won't be irrecoverable. Like, there's nothing like that in life. And they'll think to themselves, I know things could get worse. And those sort of people, they may be like, just fucking cut their losses, right? They cut it and they don't think about it again as well. And maybe they even feel satisfied that they made a decision that they can stand behind. And that's another way of looking at it, right? That's it. I mean, the question is, where do we think the prices are going to? And then, as such, how can we manage our risk within that context? So let's look at those, and let's look at what might be realistic, or when I say realistic, I mean possible, for July the 16th. And then for yourself, Bob, it's just a question of, what are you comfortable doing? You know, what are you comfortable with? And it's not just a question of your own risk tolerance. It's also a question of like other things, right? Like really nobody should trade if they've got susceptible to deep depression and dangerous levels of mental health. Nobody should ever. It's not right, and it shouldn't do it, and it's dangerous. But there's so many like depending on who you are, like that question. I know it's nice, right? You say it in a nice way. You're praising me. Actually, even donated $9.99. I didn't mention that. Thanks, Bob. That's appreciated. Now I feel guilty. That's a bit of meal. Yeah, it is a dip. So there's so many different ways of thinking about this situation, and depending on your experience as well, it changes again. The answer changes again. Like how experienced are you in position management? Like and what other trades have you got on the go at the minute, and how is that going to work, and like what are the opportunity costs available to you if you do just cut your losses and take that money and put it into something else, right? Because the markets offer infinite opportunity. Every second that they're open, you can win a fortune or you can lose a fortune. So the question is like, do you have a strategy with reliable indicators that give you signals that tell you what to do or not, and what does your, and I call you an edge, right? And what does your edge say right now? And my edge, like people talk about it now, and it's like loads of people have got bits of it because I've shared bits of it in different indicators that most people don't really know about. And it took me years to find these things to work with the process I've got, and just slapping them on whatever you're doing isn't necessarily going to work. Anyway, point being, you need an edge, and what's your edge telling you? And at the minute my edge is saying that we're due for a bounce, and that bounce is going to take us back up to 200. Then the question is what happens then. That's a smaller time frame. Somebody outside, like, there's absolutely no need for that noise. There's 236. We're on the daily time frame. We're closing above that 236 198. If you drop down to 15 minutes, see it more clearly. We got above it, come back to test it. Did we get all the way up to the 6215? Look at that, nearly, but we stopped at the 20 period moving average. And here you get to see, like, there's why I have these things on my charts, and like the price action, I just talked about it when it was down here somewhere. We were saying it's going up here somewhere, probably to 618, and the other things along the way, like they've got the 0.5, which I've also drawn inwards, where it's made it to that blue line. That's why these blue and yellow are different colour from everything else, because they're important. And then you can see the 20 period moving average, and I use the 20, and there it is, hitting it. Above it, there's it caught by the 55, right? And you can see that price action, if it does recover the 20, will probably then play between it and 2055 or it'll go on above it if that's above the 618, which it kind of is, like a little bit above the 618 if it gets above there and closes above there. So we'll see, right? But and I'm supposed to be doing an answer for Bob here, right? So what was it, 60? Yeah, so the reason that's in the title was I was hoping to get to it having done the TA from like the weekly chart down, and then said, let's look at, say, how that might happen in the next couple of weeks. So we could do that, but now I want a cup of tea and a tiny break. How long have I been streaming for? It says 43 minutes. That's not true. I know that's fucking lies. What does it say over here? What does it say over here? Likes. 400 and something. Awesome. If you could hit the like, that would be really appreciated. Thanks very much. I've got a new member. Yeah, that was brilliant. Cheers, mate. Alex, was it? Was it Alex? If I said that wrong, probably I've just pissed him off. But I don't think it was Alex. Excellent connection, everything. What am I looking at here? I'm trying to find something. 584 viewers and 400 or something likes. I can't see what it is, but that's good. But if you want to hit like that, it'd be 468. So you'll probably get another 50 odd likes out of you. If you were to click it, that'd be appreciated. It would go a little bit way to helping the channel. How come when I add email I only have one? Alright, that's ages ago, that message. GME makes weekdays more fun than weekend days. Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, weekends are so overrated when you've had a pandemic, right? So what am I looking for here? I'm looking for something on this on my actual. Why am I looking on my YouTube? Was something telling me something to look at? Well, I can see that I've got pinned my merchandise there. I pinned. What did I pin? Is it at the top of chat? I can't see it. I should have pinned that, but now I see pinned by Tradespotting Bing Bong Dark T-shirt. I wanted to pin the cycling shorts because they were so unreasonable. let's just pin this, will we? Let's pin these jogging bottoms. There you go, let's pin some jogging bottoms with Fanny written on. They're only $300, so like whatever, $400 odd. That's a freaking bargain for some comfy jogging bottoms, if you ask me, but don't click that or go to that shop. So this is what we're talking about. What price point can we expect the bong? Right, well the bong like the bong itself is like it's like an echo. It's on the HBV, the DMI, the volume, and the MACD all in the 4 hour, and it all says that huge move's coming, and that's the bong. CRJ Cordoba Lenis. That's an interesting name. So like the bong, the bing and the bong are like bing bong, the train is leaving the station. Bing bong, the price is wrong. Bing bong, can anyone in UK recommend a good trading platform? Interactive Brokers is okay. Kala. Interactive Brokers is okay, but I don't trust them. So I would spread things out a lot, and I don't trust H&L at all, as it happens. If Guy gets to 45, then we could talk about potentially getting into a zone of crashing. Yo, Jimmy, I've missed a bit of your stream today due to work. What is your price prediction for the 16th to the 7th? Hey Simon, I've not got to it yet. I'm not actually trying to sort of work that way there in a really responsible route, because somebody asked me specifically about their call options, and now I feel like I'm reminded of the fact that lots of people watching will be in similar positions, and some of them will have spent shitloads of money on it and then worried about people's lives. So I'm trying to approach it in like a mature way, which is slowing me down a little bit, but I'm working my way there, don't worry. And at the end, I'll either some legend like Case Guy will help with chapters, or I'll try and remember this bit and find it so that somebody can find it. BKR can be tricky to navigate if you're new. Yeah. Good point, Zig. But yeah, it probably is, and like I don't really want to spend. So like, I don't know then. Revolut does stuff. Revolut's like the opposite end of the scale. You can just buy GME, just click it, it's just buy, and it's like, you sure, and you say yes, and that's about it that happens there. I do think at BKR is good. They let you do so many different things that you can't do on other apps. But I also don't trust them for shit. Team Progress, because you don't know where the exact top makes sense. I don't know, people talking there. Team Progress is a total legend. Harry Butcheeks is a total legend. What's happening? Zara Lor, same. Chapters are for being done, mate. Oh, Case Guy, there he is. Legend. Yes! Talk about them 16th price targets. Talk about... Hey, you got any more of them? yeah, thanks very much. So we're not have to not have sell orders. Yeah, VIX on up today. Is that a positive niggle for GME? VIX on the up rate, well, volatility is going up. Is that well? I mean, it's neither here nor there, to be honest, but let's see. Might be. I started with eToro. Yeah, I've literally never used eToro. Team Progress, no problem. Yeah, you got it. eToro, right? People have actually told me that it's good and it's simple and it's easy to use, and so maybe you should go with it. The whole reason I was put off was it's all about copying other people and that, and it's like, well, what's that going to teach you? Like everyone, if you'll either get out of this game alive, or you'll lose. You'll get out while you're alive, or you'll die trying, right? You can't trade forever and ever full stop. So you will eventually get beaten by the market in some way or another. So if you're copying other people, what are you going to do when that happens? You have to rely on yourself. GME is an amazing asset trade, because even if you fuck up and buy at the absolute worst time, it's still a winner in the long run. It's not nearly as bad. It's just not as optimal. Exactly. Over a long period of time, it really isn't as bad. People will tell you, like, well, you've got any more of them stonk puppets? I do, yes, Harriet, lighting in the mood. Thanks. And reminding me, right, so Case Guy, legend. eToro, I wouldn't trust at all. Yeah, fuck them, mate. I wouldn't trust them either. People say it's easy in that, but like 2 or 3 different things have happened to them. It made me think, like, what? And same with H&L, still the same way. Chris Chambers, what if they can put sell limits? Oh, eToro were the ones that were recently phoning around all their customers, telling them, was that eToro were the ones that Ape Andy was saying they were phoning around everyone? And this guy got emails and people sent me shit too for that. It was them, eh? Like, you can't trust eToro. Why did I even say that? Did I even say that? Somebody else said that. CEO eToro follows me on Twitter, so I can shout him out if we get into trouble. Yo, nice. Good one, Dan Dawson. Good one. The Zig eToro is relatively new, and I don't use relatively new platforms. Yo, Harry Butt Cheeks. Well, that's also a really good approach to take in every type of trading, right? Any assets. Don't. Fidelity is the best bet. Yeah, probably Fidelity. That's failure to deliver's got the right answer there. Fidelity. Those in the UK should take advantage of a stocks and shares ISA. Why has that got question marks? Yes, they should. Exempt from capital gains tax, yeah, up to like, what is it at the minute, 20 grand or something, your deposits or whatever. Or is it more? Is it twice that now? Oh, it's 20. At least it was last time I checked. When I drink a ton of coffee, it makes my pee smell like coffee. Tradespotting. Does this happen to you? Drink a bunch of tea. No, it makes my pee smell like sugar puffs, as it happens. You know sugar puffs? If I drink lots of tea, it smells like sugar puffs. Gamestop Corp GME said Tuesday it had at least 530,000 square foot facility in Reno, Nevada as the video game consumer electronics retailer to expand its fulfillment net killer in 2022. Yes, this is Mining Boom was talking about that earlier. The new fulfillment facility, 530,000 square feet. That's quite a lot. And Nevada's fulfillment in America sort of means you need something there. So it's fantastic the way they're doing it. Anyone that halted trading on GME in January, I wouldn't go anywhere near them. Yeah. Did eToro do that? I don't know. Fucking IBKR apparently did too. I mean, I don't know. At the time, I was like, most of my GME at the time was like split between their Revolut stuff, which I've moved some of it off. And that was a total nightmare. So I don't recommend them for that reason if you have to take stuff off there. And then, where else was I in initially? Obviously, I didn't. I can't remember there. Anyway, Webull, I don't use Webull. I've never used it. I've actually never used it. I've just seen so many links to people's channels, and that. Just been like, ugh, what's that? What were we talking about before there? I wouldn't trust anyone who halted trading. Yeah, and I think ABKR are a little bit dodgy. I think eToro a little bit dodgy. Obviously Robinhood, and then I've heard dodgy things about Revolut, and I've also seen that perhaps eToro are phoning around their customers, and I know that H&L didn't let people vote, and then that makes me wonder about the structure of how they handle their clients' shares and whatnot. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but what I read made me think like that perhaps they were being lent out in some way, some of them. And I thought like, hey, this is not legit, especially when you compare to like how you were looking to hold it in an ISA and whatnot, and somebody was lending out your shares. It's like not cool, mate. Yeah, don't trust anyone who did that. And the trust is like most of those ones. If you look at their bosses, they all know each other. Anyone that halted trading on GME in January, I wouldn't go anywhere near them. Yeah, ever again. It's good advice from Keith Guy. And what was it before? There was the fulfillment stuff and the pee smelling like sugar puffs. Cool. Keith Guy for this a lot, and they didn't allow me GMA shoulders to vote. No way to verify I'm in the US, but I have a friend who is looking for a good platform in the UK. Ah, I see. Excellent. Oh, Keith Guy's helping you out there as well as writing the chapters. My legend, my man. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly which one everyone's talking about. At different times, because yours are all having conversations and whatnot. But I don't like eToro because they like copy people and they phone around people, tell them set stop losses. And I also don't like the idea that I think they did. I can't see it there, but I'm pretty sure you have got each other covered. Men who wear sandals get what they deserve. I could be in on this. Stefan, I could be in on this. What are we getting in on? Am I even in the screen anymore? Trying to move to Fidelity from Webull. Yeah, if you're moving shares, doing them to Fidelity. Look at me yawning, silly me. Yeah, moving them to Fidelity, it seems to be the most popular choice. And you look at institutional ownerships and that, and you can think, well, I can see why people are doing it for loads of different reasons, and Fidelity get a modicum of trust that other people don't. Correct. ISA shares are legally exempt from being lent out. Aye, and you got your ISA shares on your H&L, but your H&L have got them a Euroclear, and they don't let you vote because of the way they're structured. And it's like, well, what exactly do you own here? Like, what's going on here, H&L? Why can you let eToro let you vote? Yeah, and they said they were also on Euroclear, but H&L can't, And it's like, H&L loaning out people's shares that are in ISAs. Is that happening? Like that institution that's so British doing that, which is so against British people. Is that happening? And I was on Twitter and I was trying to get them to change their mind. I was doing everything I could in that, but just a little old me wasn't able to push the dial very far on it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I should be doing this chatting about the price action, shouldn't I? It's 198.50, so not very much is happening today so far. 518 likes, so you hit the on like button. That's appreciated. Have I done anything today? I mean, people, thank God Keith's guy's writing chapters, because I don't know if I've done anything today or not. This might be a descending triangle at the end of this. Could be all sorts of formations, couldn't it? Well, that's lower, it's divergent. So the move up to 618 got to the 50% only. Came back down again. Again higher, again prices there. It's going to come back, it's going to bounce off here. Probably in around 236 where it's already at. Is this a buy again? Well, you'd like to see it hold this price even though it's a short-term time frames, right? So we're going to answer everyone's questions, and I'm sure there's people who've tuned in. This is like, I know it seems like, how many people have tuned in? 544, so perhaps a lot of you are looking for these July 16th call stuff, and I thought that it would be an interesting topic, but now I think I'm feeling responsible for giving good information because people have got a lot of money on the line. So this fib here is very relevant to this question about July the 16th fib, July the 16th calls. And obviously with your premium being $8.07, I don't know what it is now on those particular calls, but I imagine it's completely crushed. The volatility itself is so low that it makes it just sucks away value on you. Right, where is the low on this one? Right, this is a low. We're going from this low to this high. So this is this, and this is this retrace, and on it we have down here. Not right. And on this Fibonacci, you could see prices at the 618 come in around that 177, 20 period moving average are, right? And why am I saying that? I'm not saying that about the July the 16th calls. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that July the 16th is like eight or 9 days away, and in advance of that, it's quite likely that prices go somewhere and do some stuff and cheat. And one of the places where it wouldn't be all that crazy for it to go is down at the 177. So, you know, if people are thinking about July the 16th price targets and they haven't yet got calls on it, and they're like, well, where do I buy it? Well, you buy when low vol, and I'm not saying you do buy them because they're expiring so soon. It's like totally stupid to be buying them now. You want to be buying other things, right? Anyway, unless you've got a particular plan, in which case you may be really smart and it isn't stupid, but it's really risky. So down here at 177, 180, yes, definitely. People have been saying chat there that they've got orders in, they're hoping for it, and they may get it, they may not, but like it's somewhere to look to, and you could say beyond there, things would not be positive, right? That would be not positive. We didn't have to go through a period of crap, and that HPVP might be signaling volatility on the side we'd rather not see it. But if something's going down soon, there you likely get a test, right? There's 70, the 20 period moving average, 618 on your weekly, on your retrace, and 20 period on the weekly. If you were to look at the moving averages on this weekly time frame and say, well, are we in a really bullish trend right there in a minute, right? Well, you look at the 9 period moving average. You can see, look, well, we opened above it, but we've now sunk below it today. It itself is pointing down, so it may be recoverable, but that doesn't mean like it's good. It's less likely easy to recover. It's above the 0.5 on this overall Fibonacci. You take us in around 203.24, and it may well be that prices today close at around 203.24 or just below wherever that EMA actually is. Below where that I said, but above that EMA. And if it comes in there, you know, especially above that 201, 202. 201, 202 is like quite a likely area for prices to go to. Case guy, Rocky Outcrop, what do you think of the 50 cent puts for July 16th? Some 428,000 contracts. H. Jones clapping. Why are you giving me that H. Jones clap? For you too. Thanks very much. What alert did we get there? Sorry. Thanks, H. I hope you're doing good. Yes, so this is it, right? Downside, don't panic if it goes down there. Panic if it goes beyond it. No, why would you panic anyway? After everything we've been through, it's not about panic anymore, is it? I hate that. Panic merchants out here selling panic left, right, and centre. So you've got your 9 period, you've got 0.5 moving average. It's quite likely that the prices actually finish above that today. If they do so, you could say, like, well, still have to recover more than that, like I said, with the 236 of the now deleted Fibonacci in order to call this a bottom. But if you were able to do so, you could say, look, these are higher lows on the RSI, and that's positive, and accumulating in this area before going up again is positive. So, and you could say it's part of an overall trend. You could say, well, yeah, there's that line there on the weekly as well. I suppose you would think that maybe that's obvious, or maybe it's broken, I don't know. I mean, it seems that's not working, but those periods between each other aren't really valid, whereas that's only got 2 touches, so the gain doesn't count itself, so there's not much you can do there. But you can say, and we've spent a lot of time looking at the weekly chart, and that's not to say that that's going to give you more answers, because we're talking about something that's a week and a half away. It's just, this is where you start for this. So the 0.5, that's what you'd like to cover today. If it goes down to the 618, that still leaves all bullish scenarios possible. But the truth is, you would rather see this start to go up, right? You would rather see it. I'd like to see it today finish at 202.5. I would think that would be good. That doesn't mean that it's going to, just because I'm saying it, and I could say it louder and it still won't make a difference. But the point is, that's where I'd like to see it for a variety of reasons. It would also mean that we hadn't put in a lower low. If we could get up above 203.70, then we'd not even have put in a lower low here. The extension, and that would just look like a wick, and it might turn bullish. No, until we see the weekly turn around, it's really difficult to make predictions. Like, and I don't, obviously, I'm not looking at the premium on those on Bob's call options for the 16th right now. We'll have a check after this stream, see just for myself and when I'm talking to people what the chat is there. But yeah, I mean, you can't really look to the upside until you've seen it some sort of down coming in, right? That's the way technical analysis works, as much as I'd like to see it differently. When you can see it coming in, like, then you can make predictions based off that. So when I say, like, oh, this is where it might go, it's because I've made some sort of, not prediction, but I've said, like, if this happens, then this is likely. And if we finish above 203, it's likely then that prices do push back up. If they finish above 177, especially if they touch it on the wick and bounce up again, that and come back, that would be very positive, especially if they then make it above the 0.5. That's asking a lot of stuff if it's ahead of a downtrend or ahead of a down move to come back higher than where you are at the minute. And then obviously you want to be, if this week could finish really, really bullishly, it would be that right, this is from a very, very cautious perspective with this lower trend line, with the pointing out that the prices are maybe already below a 9 period moving average. Maybe they do have a bit like of hesitancy still left in them, and it's using a Fibonacci that's drawn from the lowest part of the cup, what's in this cup and handle. But the truth is that Fibonacci might not be the one that you'd be looking at, not dominant. It might actually be this one here from the previous low, at which point we're just on the 618. This is your buy. Maintaining that means that, like, you come in, touch it. What if the week? This is a weekly time frame, and it's Tuesday. It's the first day that we're trading this week. But if it comes in and closes like higher, having touched the 618, that looks very, very bullish. And if that happens this week, then next week's very likely to be higher velocity in the trend, right? This is like steering a big oil ship, or whatever. It takes a while to turn it around. And then once it's done that part, you can see it picking up speed. And so it may well be that once the trend, and that would be represented by the DMI, which we could get up here on the weekly. So like the DI plus has been coming down, right? There's obvious that's been coming down, lower lows, and it's been coming out. But the DI minus actually hasn't really done much. It's still in a period of lower highs, and if anything, potentially lower lows. So it's not turned around yet. Whereas the positive trend has sort of weakened off. And our ADX, well, it's up there because we're on the weekly and it's done such big moves. But if you drop down, you can see that the daily and the on the daily, the DI plus and negative, I've had that across here, but they do that a lot, right? They go swish, 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 swish across loads. It's only when they touch and go off once that you can be like sure that that move is over, as it was here. And on price action, that was all this stuff. That's not what I wanted. I wanted in. How did I squeeze into that tiny wee gap? Did it again? Why have I moved this down? Can I move this up? Because it's way off my screen now. Is that leaving everything working? Okay, it's right. So, yeah, what am I doing now? Right, the daily, and I'm talking about how building up this picture of what might happen over the next couple of weeks. So why am I on the daily time frame already? Well, we did the weekly. We've done those sort of two already. We've looked at them. Does that show up when I put that mouse over there as a different screen? Yeah, it does. Cool. Awesome. Right. Yeah, so this needs to turn around. Where we're on daily, this needs to turn around, but we want to see it go down here and drop it there and give us the perfect signal. We've already had a good signal there. It was emphasized at the start of this move here. A move that took us up to the top there. It was a full retrace of this previous dip, especially from the body anyway. So would you expect to see something like that if this broke out, like another version of that move? Well, let's see, like you've got different signature on the lows, different on, same on the high. Well, if you consider that, then this is very similar. It's also got the same touch of the divergence here that this had on the 15-minute. I think. Well, I'd have to go back there to see that 15-minute, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the things we traded about this. And you see this is very similar here, although it's still above certain moving averages at this point. It's actually better for loads of reasons. It's also higher, and it's above the 618 retrace on its previous move, whereas that move had taken us where it happened way below the 236, whereas this one, that's the way up, isn't it? So let's take another one on the way down here. Again, also quite low, 236, quite far away from that. Well, similar, very similar pattern. You want to see a positive candlestick pattern, something bullishly engulfing would be awesome. But that hasn't happened yet. 197 spot 47, and we're on the 4 so. Things still in a period of flux. They're still in a period of consolidation. It's still in a what we would call a negative downtrend with lower highs and lower lows. It's not definitively, because this 4 hour hasn't closed, but and it could well be that this is false, and it turns out that this is not a signature of increasing this trend of lower lows. Perhaps this closes higher. It would have to get up to above like 203 fast day to do that, and consistently do that in 4 hours. It doesn't look like it's necessarily got the inherent strength for that at the minute, and especially not based on this RSI and what it showed us on the 4 hour. But then down at the 1 hour and 30 minutes, it's positive. Like that's positive. That's bullish. And still don't think this is going down from here because of that bullish divergence. Mind you, we did have that retrace up to the 15 minutes. See how that went there and it hit there. Right, so the reason we didn't want to go down too many of the time frames because we're trying to get to the 16th of July next week. Next week in a bit. So that is 36 bars, 4 hours. Easier to read when it's blue, so that happens. 17, but okay, right, cool. We got another 3 or 4 on that. Right, so 3 or 4, so what's the date today? 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Oh, that'd be Friday, this Friday. Okay. Hey, Ebony, just donated $5 for Super Chat. You and Rocky look real good on camera this week. Thanks so much, buddy. Cheers, that's really appreciated. I think I look a little bit like green tinted, and The colours are a little bit fake with the correction and whatnot, but that's appreciated. Thanks very much. Spent ages trying to freaking get the stream going this morning. I'm sure I pissed off loads of people, and I'm sure I could do a lot better on YouTube if I could actually start when I said I was. Thanks so much for that, and thanks for the super chat from Bobby. And why am all my chats so far behind on different screens? Thanks so much. Have I missed anything else? Let me drag this down and see if it tells me. H. Jones super chat $4.99. Evan A. $5. You're Rocky. You look real good. Thanks so much. Love from Chicago. Well, hey, Chicago. Awesome, Evan. How's things in Chicago? What's the weather like? It's pissing here. And that Chicago's awesome city. And you're right in the heart of it. Right in the heart of it with the option contracts that we're talking about there, and that a lot of what people are talking about was invented in Chicago. I see in there Daniel Assange $5. That was earlier. Thanks, Daniel. Existential $5. Say you got 5 on it. And then we was talking about party favours. Hey, thanks for what you do. Not financial advice if you had. That was that Bob that we're answering now. And super chat Harriet put in a $5 as well. Thanks very much. And Ebony that $5 too. Excellent. That's really appreciated, folks. Thank you very much. That means that in the chat revenue today, we have made $20, £20, 20 British pounds, which is fantastic. That'll pay for approximately two bowls of cold porridge. So I will not starve to death today. Thank you for keeping me alive one more day. What the fuck? Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, 618. What am I talking about? Jimmy, what are you talking about? Literally, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right. So, so there's this formation here has got a little bit left to go on it too, in terms of what you might expect from like cup with handle or on this type of retrace on anything to do with the signature of these sort of moves. Like this could easily be a third or up to half of what you've seen here, and you might expect it. And when you draw in that sort of a wedge shape, then you could see that it's nowhere near really full anyway. It's certainly not at 75%. If that's your top, and this is very, very, like, we're just trying to get a general idea of time analysis. Yeah, you'd expect a lot more to run from this thing here. I know that looks crazy, but like you would draw in the points, perhaps like something like this, and you'd say like, is that about right? And you'd say it gets like 75% full, and like what's that? That looks like 60, and then the rest of it would take you to the end of this week, really. And then you might see move out of that sort of thing. So it could be that we see 3 or 4 more days of absolutely very little happening, where the prices touch this 618, 192, perhaps even come down, touch this upward sloping demand line, and then wick back up. And you're hoping to finish like this week above the 194 level, preferably if you could manage it. If you could get all the way up to the 22350, that'd be great for GME, and it would give us confidence that next week we might see something more. If this whole week goes through like sluggishly and not much happening, then you yourself, Bob, or anyone holding those contracts will be like, oh sugar, we're even closer to the expiry, and prices haven't really moved, and not further out of the money, but premium's gone way down even more, and volatility still not having changed will have meant that prices get crushing even more in terms of premium. So it's a question of what your own risk tolerance are and what you were thinking when you got into the trade in the first place. But the July the 16th targets that I'd be thinking about are within the scope of this this formation that we're putting in at the minute. I expect that what's going to happen is on the 4-hour candles, you will see it working through to a point of a little bit of divergence, and that might mean that the prices need to drip down further, maybe to these levels, and maybe it ends up being just a wick, because on the lower time frames, like we've already seen on the 15 minutes, we've already seen a touch divergence there. Let me something to get berries for your porridge. King Noah, thanks. I can sprinkle some berries on that porridge. That's really appreciated. Thanks so much, King Noah. I was mostly joking there. I was mostly joking there. I was doing this stuff last night on the green screen trying to get it working. I was doing that video yesterday, which took me like 4 or 5 hours, even though it only lasted a few minutes. And as I was doing it, I was using Streamlabs to record it, and somebody bought like 4 t-shirts and stuff, and I was like, whoa, and then they put in a nice message with it, like support and stuff, and I was like here on my own in the dark trying to make a video in the middle of the night. Get a nice message like that. It was like so nice. Thanks very much, King Noah. I know it wasn't you, but I was remembering that because the sentiment was the same in their message. Thank you very much. And I hate the winter fruit shit, so I wouldn't put the berries in it. I'd just put honey on it and slap it in the microwave. And keep your $5 for a or $2 for a chippy later. I'll get some chips. Thanks, King Nosh. You're a legend. That's really appreciated. And Nosh. Why did I call you King Nosh? Well, because I'm thinking of food. Because we're thinking of food, and I'm crazy. It's called clearly King Noah. Thanks. Noah's a brilliant name. Love Noah as a name. Yeah, so I'm again doing this thing where I stop talking about something and I try and work my way back into the same sentence when it could just go on anyway. Tradespotting. Harriet Butt Cheeks cannot trade Royce on Korean market. Any other old money, old people stocks that you have seen similarly underpriced? Yeah, that's right. We were talking about how old people trade Royce. Well, there's every old person's favourite IBM, right? It's like, but is it underpriced at the minute? I don't know. I mean, if you're looking at their quantum computer stuff, maybe you think it is. And I've had that discussion with somebody about 6 months ago, but I think that stuff's maybe taking a back seat for the next 6 months or longer. Yeah. Well, I mean, lots of MMAT, Frostcrest, MMAK thirded. So people want to look at that, right? I'll get on with what I was doing and then I'll get back to things. Yeah, what time is it here in Britain? It's 5 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet today, so I definitely should eat something. Ebony, thank you so much. King Noah, thank you so much. Another one. Oh my god, you just doubled my earnings from Dubai for a falafel sandwich. A falafel sandwich! Yo, Dubai, how's it going out there? You're a Cheshire cat. Ooh, purr. You're a Cheshire cat. They purr the loudest. I'm from you're from Dubai, or you're in Dubai. How's it going out there? I tell you what, we've got the worst flooding ever here. Cheshire, like, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but like, the Princess Street is the main shopping here, was completely flooded, like up to 2 or 3 feet of water outside my house, which is 1 floor up. Water was like really high on the walls, and I live on a slope, on a huge slope where water should just be disappearing, but there was just so much of it couldn't. And it's still all out there, still all flooded, even though it hasn't really rained that much today. Crazy. It's crazy, the rain. I wonder what it's like up in Sanjo Kojak's park, because they had a lot of worries about that area. So wondered. I'll look at my mat later. Lamau the teeth. Is that because my teeth keep this? Yep. Jaws. It's like Jaws. Falafel sandwich sounds good, mate. There's a new place opened across the road that does all that sort of thing, and it's not opened. It's been trying to open for a year, and it's literally right across the road. And when they opened it used to be this crap shop. Like, I'm not saying that, like, they sold Turkish food, and the baklava stuff was really nice, but it's freezing cold, and there was no seating in that, and it was like, they were really, really slow to serve you. So they've gone, and I was glad about that. And a pakora place moved in, and it was the falafels and everything all on the go, and it looked awesome. But then the pandemic struck, and they never even actually got to open, and I felt terrible. Not getting excited about that, and then not getting my food fixes. So yeah, I will get that, and I might even get a falafel, and then we'll order it later. And if Rocky's there, we could get it from the mosque around the corner, or if they do that sort of thing. Do they do that sort of thing? They do all sorts of different other sorts of things. They won't be doing falafels, but they're doing curries. So we could get that, and we could chuck it in, and we could get some stuff on the way back. What do you think, Rocky? Where are you? You've disappeared. Hurry, butt cheeks. Panic buy. Frostcrest. Definitely braces. Yeah, if I got braces, that would sort it right out. I had braces. I had braces for all of I had braces right until I got attacked in this. We were celebrating for the football team. We're all out, and we were having our annual celebration thing. And I was like, "Sweet, I'm about to win the top goal scorer award." But I'm actually starving. I've had about 8 pints, so I was like 16, so I'm going around the corner and quickly get a burger. And I left this bar and it was a lock-in, so they shut the door and I was like, bugger, can't get back in. So I went back and no, that was as soon as I left. And I was like, well, I might as well take my time. So I went around to the burger place and I stood at the till and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and I turned around and this guy had hit me and nearly knocked me out. And I saw the CCTV afterwards. The police gave it to me and it broke my nose. That was like the third time it broke my nose. And I had braces at the time and I'd hit my head off the countertop after they'd hit me the first time. And it had knocked my top lip through my braces and that. And like, I couldn't really remember what happened, but somehow I'd managed to get inside a lift, having had my head kicked in. Like still getting my head kicked in, and push the button and the door opened at the top and one of the bouncers had managed to get up there, but there was like a group of them. It was fucking like 10 or 15 of them. Why am I talking about this? Anyway, I had braces and the bouncer lifted me up. I was unconscious. He lifted me up. I woke up, took me into the toilets and he was like, that's fucked, mate, and pulled it out completely out again. Woke up in hospital. And then they took my braces off so that my face could heal. What a lovely story that was. D. Harker, where to price? Yeah, shit, fuck, I'm supposed to be in technical analysis. This is why I'm never getting anywhere on YouTube, because I'm a stupid fanny, right? 19687, this is a 4-hour candle, and that's 618. Is it going to bounce off there? No, not necessarily, because we're not seeing anything necessarily positive on the RSI here. It's like dropping lower there, really, so we could actually see a continuation. If it does come down, we're at 1688177. 177. This 200's like screaming at me on the 4-hour chart at 177. In most assets, I'd be like, yes, get an entry at 177. Looks awesome, but this would be extended that extra chunk at the end of it without working its way through what looks to be this sort of shape, more or less. Seems unlikely. It seems more likely to get a bounce. It's also like the previous, that wick, this lows, and then the top of this thing at 188. You know, it's not all that far away. Maybe 188. What's that at again? 1935. It's just it would have to go below the 618, and that's where loads of people's entries are going to be. Plus, it's at this support line. So, right, that's what you're thinking, and we're not doing that to you anyway. We did all that last week a number of times, over and over, and we did it 3 videos on Friday, which were funny. I had braces twice and wasn't consistent about wearing the retainer either time, so now I still got wonky teeth. Sha. They never gave me a retainer. Yeah, it was not something they talked about with me. But whatever. I only had the braces for 6 months and that. Whatever. And everyone got back. After you got your nose broken so badly, like I had the braces and during the 6 months I had the or 8 months I got my nose broken twice. So it was like, well, fucking who cares about this now when I already look like a boxer. So we'll see. Anyway, we won't see anything. It was in the past and I also saw it. It was horrible. Right, so 236 there. That's what we're going to get to. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not doing that kind of TA. I'm doing the weekly TA for what we expect over the period of 10 to 2 weeks, right? So what we need to see is a turnaround in prices. That's obvious. It could happen here at the 618. It could happen below at the 200 period moving average on the 4 hour, which is at 177. Or it could come in somewhere in between times. Somewhere in between those two times, because you've got levels where it may bounce in at around 187, 192, 194, 350. So that's the levels between here and there. You've got a degree of bullish divergence there as well, so I don't know if we're going to break the 618. I don't even know if we're going to touch it. You know, if it was me, I would just buy this thing right now, but it's not financial advice. I think it's below 200, considering everything we've been through here, is a bargain. I don't think that this is anything but as a result of really, really low volume and the impending volatility spike. That's just what you always see on assets before they do that sort of thing, and it's happened during a period of consolidation. During that consolidation, prices have dropped slightly lower, but when they've done it, they've put in divergence, and I think this is a turnaround point, right? And I might be wrong, and quite easily could be, but I'm looking up the way, and if I am wrong, we'll talk about technical analysis on lower targets later, and that would have to be getting below 177. Don't really see that. Don't really see it getting below these wicks, so 177, but I personally would be buying it here. That's it. We want to get above this 200 period, which is up at 230. So I'd like to see prices test that, and that would be my ambition for this week. Like prices would recover the 236 on the Fibonacci Fibonacci that we're in here, this right hand side one of all the three, right? Cover that Fibonacci, it comes in around 223, and I'd like to see that happening this week. I'd then be really, really chuffed if prices could could finish above 232, above this 200 period moving average on the hourly chart, right? That would be a good start. It wouldn't be the be all and the end all, but it'd be a good start, and I'd expect to see prices touch there. And to do that this week would be great. On the 4 hour, there's really nothing really stopping us. If we do manage to get up and above that sort of price, the 223s, and then again you're looking back up around 277, 280, and that's where it could go. So like if prices turn around this week, you're looking at 220 to 230 is, and I say turn around, I mean it's not really, they haven't really dropped down, they haven't really done anything. People look at this worry because they're in the trade already, and I empathise, and a lot of my tones emphasise is picking up on the fact that I've been responding to people sending me worried messages, right, and like they worry and that, so I talk about it like that. But the truth is I don't worry about this. Like I'm looking for this week 223, 230, and then if we can really, really push it up at 277, 280, that'd be fantastic. And the charts say that it's totally possible. They say that between here and down, on the downside, you've only got an extra 10, maybe $20, and so many things will catch it, and the same resistance to that possible outcome. And on the top side, that's up at $280, right? It's like $80 away, and so, you know, if I was a marker maker, I'd be looking at that, and that would be what I'd be thinking, and I think they're thinking the same thing. So we'll see what happens with these retests at these zones, but that's what that's what I'm hoping to see. And if you do get this close at this week, somewhere up at those targets, 230 is one thing, right? And if that happens, great. And next week we can look at something, think, well, how far will we go? And I'm thinking at that stage you'd be looking at 300s. But if at some stage this week we can really push through there, and I know I'm saying this when price action has been going against us, and people will hear this saying you're crazy, and I'll get fucking shitloads of crap in the comments, so I'll have to read before I'm trying to go to sleep, and it pisses me off if it does catch me before I'm about to go to sleep. But truth is, I still think we're going up here. I think we're hitting 230, and I think after that it's going at 277, 280, and then next week, if we get above the 230 this week close, and then we're thinking like 343 and above for the end of next week. And why 343? Well, because this high here comes in at 343 on our move up there at the top of the cup with a handle rim area type thing, and I'd want to see it and look at it with divergence on the 4 hour, and that. I also think that you can see that there's a degree of, in the period of consolidation, which we have been, and prices have been going down, and I know that like on this leg of it, perhaps they are lower and whatnot, blah, 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 but this is still this is still true, and this is still accumulating outside of the bearish control zone. It's still above the 618. It looks to me like it could have some divergence on the smaller time frames. I expect to see this getting kicked up. 280s where I want to see it this week. I said last week it was possible. This week I'm looking for 230. I'm not particularly interested in seeing prices for a long period of time stuck down around. My God, what's wrong with my head? I'm not looking at prices. I would not be impressed to see prices drop below 177 and hold somewhere down there for a long time. It pissed me off, right? It's not that I think anything had changed fundamentally. I'd just be pissed off because I know that then that added another couple of weeks to the horizons that we're looking at, and a lot of people hate the drag already. I understand. And why? But ahead of us, right? So that's that. Yeah. So I was doing that. I already talked about the smallest time frames, so I don't need to talk about them anymore. Yeah. So 343, and then That's what I'm thinking at. People are like, well, if it goes to 343, it will go crazy. And I've said before, yeah, if it goes to 343, it likely then goes on to 500 and comes back to 350 or lower, 330. And that's the sort of thing you might be thinking about in terms of July the 16th and beyond. If the charts really do, and they'd have to get some velocity going by the end of this week, and they would really want to finish them at the top, right up and around what was previously was support and could be considered resistance until we break it. You don't particularly want to see us at the end of the week testing lower levels of support, because you need to get up to the top of next week for Bob and Co's option contracts to be expiring towards the money, or at least it's like the volatility to pick up ahead of that would be positive, and for that price to move to the top side at the same time might give them a good chance of getting out of that position without worrying. And I think a lot of people are in the same position. Yo Kimmy, yo Kimmy, yo Kimmy, yo, how you doing? You're probably not the same Kimmy Yo I met before, but I met a Kimmy Yo once, and if you are, say yo, that's me, because you'd remember, but you probably aren't. And yeah, that was your real name, Kimmy Yo. But I don't know if that's yours. So who knows? Anyone knows? It could be anybody, but I know that isn't. I think it isn't. Squeeze spaghetti. Rocky Outcrop is a true friend. Fucking right. I love Rocky. Where is he? Is he here now? There's a lot of ambulances coming down the street in the minute. When Ambo thought they were hanging out at Rocky's place recently, but now that they've changed their mind, the crime must have shifted. This is the patterns of crime. So why was I saying those targets? Yeah, it was this previous high on this move. It was also the area where prices like put in a daily close during this drop down, I think. Right? Yeah, there. 317. 376. Up at 376, you can expect some congestion as well then, right? So like, but there, yeah, that's where I'm thinking there's like a lid on things there where would really want to be like saying, oh, this is just a test at the minute, and going through it might be hard. And so what period next week does it get there? Does the volatility pick up in advance so that the inherent value of your options are going up? It's out of the money and it's getting closer and closer, so there's that to consider. And I'd definitely be paying attention to the option chain and seeing how things looked. There's so many puts expiring like sub $200 on GME on July the 16th. So many. So when prices are here at 196.30, some of those people are happy, relieved, and thinking they've got a chance.
I'm not sure.
Thinking they're happy, they're relieved, they've got a chance. There's other people opening up puts, like trying to get those targets, like lower targets in that short period of time frame by those 8 or 9 days. And personally, I think that's crazy trading, right? Even if we weren't talking about GME, even if we weren't talking about how like that's just like the pure badness of your heart to be trying to short this when there's so much else in the world that's like actually better trades. But that's terrible trading because you've got such low room to move below us here. You're at the support on this formation, you're at the 618, you've put in bullish divergence already in the smaller time frames. That's indicative of something, whether you like it or not. Down here you've got loads of reasons the price would get caught. You're talking about a week away, that 9 days, a lot of news catalysts could happen between then and now, and that's stupid, right? Whereas if you trade this and you're looking at it from a breakout perspective, how do you do that? How do you measure that on this shit ass formation which doesn't even have a real bottom? Doesn't have any real bottom line, right? That's got a thing going right through it, including a body close. So this bottom line here that I've got to agree on, it doesn't mean anything. So like, how are you shorting this? Like how? Right from here, with dangerously and with a lot of chance of losing money. It's no trade zone downside. It just isn't. This is no trade zone. And on the top side, you've not only have you got a reason to enter here because it's support, you're at the bottom of what might be a formation, you're at the 618, you've got the divergence, but also then when it gets up here, then you've got a luxury of choice, right? You can say like, well, I managed to invest here, rather than like the anxiety of like, well, what's going to happen if it doesn't work out? And you've made the brave decision at this time. So like, this is like, if anything, to me, it's a buy. And I know prices are 196.30, and I know it could be proved wrong. And every single time I come on here and say something, I could be proved wrong. I'm just saying that's how my TA works out. That's the trade I would take, and generally I make money. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking. And so that's why am I justifying my thoughts? I don't actually give a flying shit. The truth is, it goes through the 2-3, we're above the 618, goes past the 236 here, go back up to the 618, go back, maintain the 618 here, bounce back up to the 618, the 236. You could pause at the 5, like, and that's the nature of this, and it's like the 50% retrace level and Dow theory and whatnot. And it could be that if we don't break this resistance, if prices go up here, perhaps during this week up to 214, 212, 214 zone, and don't manage to break through and put in bearish resistance at the same time, then sure, we could come maybe back down, like try that 177. It could be that way, and having gone through the 236, hit the 618, only recovered to below the 0.5, that be below resistance and drop off again would dad? No, it wouldn't be, it would be a bit shit. Oh shit, I was supposed to see my dad today and I've missed it. Well, I've missed it. What time is it? Yes, probably. Anyway, right, so that's that, and I think I did the TA, and I think I even answered Bob in that, and didn't look at MMAT. But like, how much money are you still spending on the MMAT, and like, Is it really worth me looking at it? MMAT. MMAT. Oh my god. Ha! Yeah. I said this was entry. I even marked in with a green line. Did we get it? We got close. It's close enough, near enough. It also went through this line of resistance. I said this would be where you'd buy this thing. And then it's gone up there. It's listed at 0.618. Is that entry there? Is this just confluent with this thing? I can't remember what I said. There's your trade there. That's a fucking massive one. Yo. That's what I was thinking with this. Looks pretty good. It's on, right? It's on. It's a good trade, and it looks like it's going up there. And the risk reward on it was like 60 to 1 or something, 50 to 1. Stop loss only 1.5 there, 77. Fucking, this was awesome possible trade. It's above the 55. It's going to touch that 20. Here's where your question: do you still get this sort of entry over this part of time frame, or is this the best this wick here the best you're going to do? That's turning around. That's at the center line. It has to recover there, and it has to recover the EMA, and it is in the downtrend, and it is at resistance. And I'd say like this is probably like not a buy. That might be a sell. So you've got lower there. This is higher. It's a downtrend. This is a sell. Then you're waiting for that entry still. And if it goes on up above it, well done, because you might have just made some money to get there in the first place. And I say sell, I mean, I don't mean a short. I mean, if you've got a long from here, then you can close it there, and you've made the risk from that move. You've carried it through the period where it was most risky, and now you're just adding risk unnecessarily on again when you're in the right level to take profit on that wee trade if you took a wee one there. And that's that to come in at. And none of this is financial advice. And why am I talking about that? I've done all the tea on this. It's a retrace to the 618. It's the diagonal line here. Support is coming in. But you're already on the 55. You've recovered it once from the drop down. You're already also above this 0.5 on this Fibonacci from before. 786 over there. So it's quite bullish. It's positive that it's done that. It's just I don't see strength in RSI for it to continue anymore without breaking stuff that it's not likely to break. So I had to say this is a take profit zone. I think that probably was from this green line. That's one, and there's your second one up at 995. So I'm at currently it's spot 86, and I think it's probably a top profit zone from 760 to 780. I think again you get one at 930 to 950, and I don't think you'll get it. I think that is one if you should get there. I think that actually much more likely is the prices at some point from here or close, turn around again, come back down, you get like a 558, 560, maybe 590 entry, which would be your 618 retrace properly being tested, plus your 100 period simple move exponent, which 100 period exponential. So yeah, you'd expect to see that sort of thing. That's what I would expect to see with this asset. It'd also be slipping it down there beyond this line I've drawn though, and that would be maybe not as thing. And some people will have that and they'll be like, I'm not taking profits, and it's like I don't mean all of it. I'd say like a third or something, maybe. Maybe all of it, right? I probably would take all of it because opportunity cost, right? And you never know what's going to happen. If it does come down, I'd like to take it again. If it doesn't, I don't mind. No skin off my nose. So yeah, that's what I was thinking with that. I'd like a better entry on it. I'd like that. But it's just it breaks this demand line in order to get it. But if it did that and also put in some bullish divergence, it'd be positive. But we'll see, because this could also be a hold, right? Maybe he holds some. I would sell it and I'd take some if it came back down. But then I don't give a shit about this thing. And then quick look at that. It's struggling at the minute, but like Everest is, like I say, traded by slow people. So checking on that in a month space. Yeah, whatever. Ooh, that's not good. I mean, it never is, eh? I'm always looking at this and being like, what? What have I got this in here for? I did the full move on that up to 2414 last time. Let's use this. Let's remove it. Remove it. And use it. Nobody asked me to look at this today. No, and you're way below that 236 there. It's not great. It's 176, right? That's not great. It's got divergence. It does look good. But it often does this. It's below its 9 period move. Is this the 9 period or is this change back? 9. Good. Yeah. So thank God. Right. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I'm going through the market. Sneak down 3%. It's coming in for this retest again. Dimp. How many times? Got bullish divergence there. That's got bearishness there. Yeah. That's chop. That's the descending triangle. Chop. Chop. So it looks a little bit dangerous, right? It looks a little bit dangerous. What didn't we just touch on there? That made me think things are a bit dangerous. Yes, here. Below that 236 on that, that's not positive. We're below the 9 period moving average. Right, that's not everything, but it's important on this asset, as you can see, right? You're asking me about, no one was asking, literally no one has ever asked me about it ever, but I said it there. The 9 period moving average is important for various reasons. There's on the daily time frame, and we're below it. Opened, closed, no, not yet, but we'll see. Very close. Had that open, close open, but it's not had the then subsequent open. So couple more days of this and Nasdaq looks really dodgy, like really dodgy. Like it could easily take a big dip there to 168. That's the dollar, that $168, not Fibonacci target. In fact, it looks like it's just basically, essentially, it looks like destiny with a 55 there on daily moving average. We made sure there'll be a 20 in between. There'll be Fibonacci targets that you could choose instead. And there's lots of people who worried, but this is a big enough of a dip here, right? That there sort of thing. That's like a big enough of a shock, a big enough of a dip for it to big moves to happen, and that would be the equivalent of something in around there. And then just briefly touching on this, guys, we're here. Well, I mean, that can't be a coincidence that that's there. And if you know, you know. And that there as well. Fuck's sake, hey. Is it, like, we'll check in with this tomorrow. Not good. Really not good. I've just noticed someone else that's not good about that either. Right, and just quickly check this. Where are you? Oh, that's not good either. And it's did it right to here and then did it again. I mean, did we say this would happen or what? This is I mean, probably we did. Did we say get it here? Did we do this or did what? How did this come about on this chart? I think we must have drawn this somewhere in on the daily. We only looked at it a while ago. I think we took this one and said that was potentially bad. Bouncing up there. It's divergent. It's going to fall again. It's going to come down to here maybe. Fuck, if it does that, like, shit's going to go a bit crazy. Stuff might happen fast too. Let's see. And all of that happening with, what's GME doing? That's triple Qs. This will give me a better picture of this. Shit. Yeah, that's bad. That's all bearish, engulfing. And there's the gap for it to fill. It's right at the top of it. Touch, bounce. That's clearly coming down to there, and then it's just going to go down to here anyway. Ugh. Yeah, nothing good, right? So I didn't mean to take a look around the markets, but it's shit. There's your 19561. Again, you've got, this is turning around, but you've still got bullish divergence here. So 618, you're looking for that entry. 195, are you going to get 193? Probably, right? Probably. And then let's imagine that this comes to like the proper 75%, comes out here, it's around 223, still enough to catch your 236 on the far side, isn't it? Yeah. Yep, it's just about. So probably will bounce there as well if it reaches up to 22222. Probably bounces down for a second. We'll see if the 0.5 catches it or if it has to come back in and test the top of this slope window, this formation. Right, yeah. Yo, so I probably missed something. Let me check super chats. I don't see nothing. Sam Houghton, subscribe. Thanks very much, Sam. You're welcome. You're welcome here. Welcome very much. It's a Chris R. Cat from Dubai, AED. ADD, AED, AED, AED. What does it stand for? Dubai. Arab Emirates, Dubai. No. Is it? AED. Dollars. Arab Emirate dollars. I don't know. Why am I trying to work it out? Who cares? I can look it up in 2 seconds and then I'd know, and I'm working it out is going to work. Like, how do I work it out? I don't know. For a falafel sandwich, that was very generous. Thanks very much. And I see that lower third thing there. It's far too small. How can anyone see this? If you want to follow me on Twitter, I don't know if I'll ever get my Twitter account back because I think it relies on me deleting tweets, which I'm not going to do because I never did a fucking thing wrong. Never did a fucking thing wrong. And the bastards who tried to get my Twitter shut down are the bastards that run Superstonk. They've gone out of their way to destroy my reputation. They've done serious damage to the efforts I put into this channel. They've the guy Doc Bark Bark Shill, a complete and utter fanny of the highest order. And that he knows not the harm he does, and the misery he brings into people's lives, and that just by thinking he's doing a good job when he's actually a complete and utter, like, just shame on them. And I thought it was over. I thought the whole Super Stonk stuff was over. But it fucking, can you believe they're still at their shit? I've done nothing wrong and they're still at it. Try to fucking let it all go. And honestly, some fannies. Anyway, whatever. So why was I talking about that? So I'm hungry, I'm pissed off, and I got reminded of it. So you can follow me on Twitter. It's at _Jamie_Curran. And I will get that account back eventually, despite people's malicious reportings. And I will, also I'm on Instagram at King Jamie the First, where if you've got a Bing Bong t-shirt, send me a picture of it. I pure love looking at these pictures of the Bing Bong t-shirts. Got one today and I was like, bam, amazing. I got a couple of them over the last couple of days. I've been like, bam, amazing. So thanks very much. And I have no hate either way. Either way about what? I've got a clue about the hate either way. What is it? Oh, it's all there. The guy Rensol said that I was an entitled cunt. He said that because I had said, can I help out in Superstonk in any way? I'd hand out leaflets for you. I'd do anything you want to Red Chest Queen. And she deliberately misinterpreted that and gave me a hard time and asked me why I thought I was able to be a moderator without using those words. And so, because I didn't think I was able to be a moderator, but I felt like I was under attack, I said, well, I could help in these ways, and I've got this experience. And then Rensol took that, manipulated that comment, and pretended I had said other things that I hadn't. You can't read it because he deleted most of his shit because he knows he was wrong. Despite not apologising, he deleted it because he knows he was wrong, while sending other people still after me. And said that I had asked to be a moderator when I hadn't. I, in fact, have gone back through the messages that I'd sent to people and specifically said that I didn't want to be, so I know that they're lying, and they do too. And I said at one point, look, I get offers, and I'll show you all at one point. I'll show you the emails I've got. And I said, there's people all the time asking me to cover anything but GME, but all I really want to do is GME, and it'd be great to have allies in that, and you guys are awesome out there. And they all said, oh, wow, you think you're so entitled? And they must have read it like, he gets so many offers to cover GME. I don't get offers to cover GME. I wasn't saying that. I said people try to get me to cover other things. But they misread it on purpose, mischaracterized all of it, and then started putting it out there to 500,000 people and also to everyone on his Twitter, calling me for no reason on a separate conversation, calling me an entitled cunt while pretending to try and make it up so that I would then look bad, because he knew he was calling me a cunt in the background, and then also saying that I was the victim and that I was acting the victim despite not having done anything. And I was the victim of their malicious attacks and their contrivances. And that all happened, right? All of that happened. And you, mate, you owe me an apology, and I will never let it go. After the MOAS, after it's all over, I'll never let it go. I know what you did, mate, and so do thousands of other people. And you should just apologize when you're wrong. You should be a big man about things. Anyway, that's the fucking chat. Like, it is the chat. We need a peace treaty because we all need to be working together right now, says JB. Yeah, I would like it too if there was one, but it doesn't seem to stop. Even when I I'm not on Twitter because they've had my account shut down. I don't talk about them for weeks. If anything, in the last 3 times the subject has come up in chat, I've said, I'm forgiven of everybody and will let it all go. And still shit's coming my way. Why? What's the agenda? What have I got against GME? You know, what could possibly be my... Like, there's people out here... Like, I put a video out last night, right? Which will literally cost me money, right? Because I bought music licenses to put it so that it could be shared so that as many people as possible would see it. And previous to that, I've put out countless clip videos with music in them that get like 1,000 views, that get demonetized anyway, and they cost me money. And that because there's people out here that have got some stupid problem and want to report my shit and get me in trouble because they're bad, right? And I'm putting it costing me money, like, and I'm doing it so that everybody can understand that I'm trying to dispel FUD that other people put into the world. I try to dispel it, right? Not for my benefit, right? But because I know the anxieties that people that are in GME go through. And that when I'm doing that, and I'm doing that at the time, I'm making that video at the time, late at night, and I'm getting harassed by people that I know have come from that original conversation, which he could fix if he just said sorry when he knows he's wrong, because all the evidence is there. All the evidence is there to show him that he's made a mistake, and it could easily have been an innocent mistake. So all it takes is a simple apology, which I've already said in advance I would accept. You know, but instead at 3 or 4 in the morning when I'm trying to make videos to help people that cost me money, I'm getting extra harassment because of this. You know, thinking we do need a priest treaty because I'm fucking getting angry again, you know. I'll let it go anyway. Fuck it, whatever. This video isn't about me and this effort isn't about me and the other is about him, which I think is perhaps what he's managed to get wrong at this stage. Like, it's not about him, but we'll see. Or her, whatever. Half these people are anonymous. Anyway, I'm fucking fed up now and that's put me in a bad mood, right? You did let it go, but they're still talking about it. Ignore them, Jimmy. Will do, mate. I'm just going to let it go from now on. I've said everything I can possibly say about it. If I get any shit more about it, especially if it's in the middle of the night like that, I'm just going to, like I did, as I did last night, just block the people, leave it all, right? I'm leaving it. And nobody on my behalf go out and do anything, right? That is exactly the opposite of what I want. Don't anybody else ever on my behalf do what those fucking... Don't do anything on my behalf, right? Just don't, right? And if people talk to you about it or annoy you about it, you can say what you want, but you're best off just ignoring it, right? You're best off because you want an easy life and there is no answer, right? There's no answer. This is no answer. Daniel Groves, $5 for the pastry. Did that? Well, the pastry, the falafel and the pastry, and I've got a falafel sandwich and a pastry to come. You're not playing anything, Alexa. Shut up. All right, it's the alert. See, I really say this is me, like I'm flipping off the handle at Alexa now. And she doesn't make noise for no reason, so why am I even saying that? Daniel Groves, you're supporting the channel all sorts of ways, mate. Thanks so much, really appreciate it. I'll shut up now. I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I'm an idiot and I'm probably losing any more friends than I already had in the first place. Whatever. Fuck it. That wasn't Coco. Although I should be paying attention to Coco and things and taking care of him. And I should stop doing this now. And I can come back for market close anyway, which is what time? It's in 4 hours. It's in 3.5 hours, Jamie. Right, well, I'll come back and I'll do a market close and hopefully prices will have changed by that stage. And if they haven't, then I'll just look at the TA and talk about it at the time. I think I kind of covered what I was hoping to do here. Sort of what the price action might look like if we stretch it out over 8 or 9 days in the future. Talking about areas below where we could get caught, and some of them could be where we're already at the minute, like, to be honest. Things like might look dodgy if you're focusing exclusively on the fact that prices are lower than they were when they opened, and that I've been doing that for a few days more than not recently, and it can cause a degree of anxiety if you add that into the tap that you've been forced to hold this stuff now for months and months and months than you might have originally planned to, and you've got other shit going on in your life, some of it that's like you never imagined would happen. And lots of it can be stressful, you know, and it's like I speak to people all the time who've got they put a brave face on it, they focus on the positive, you know, but I can see how difficult it is, and then at the same time I'll see videos from other YouTubers which are spreading FUD, you know, and they don't really do it maliciously, but I think they just don't understand, and I feel like I'm obligated to like say things that are like, look, you know, you didn't choose it to be this way. It's put on you this way. You just tried to do the right thing, and you saw like what the charts were saying. Maybe you saw perhaps what the newspapers were saying about the bastards that rule the world. You maybe just saw it on the internet or heard it from a friend, and you didn't expect months and months and months and months later for you to have so much of your life savings invested in this thing. But here we fucking are. And what are they doing? Well, the psychology to try to use all sorts of psychology against you. This one in particular is full of bullshit, right? This is bullshit. Prices don't go like this and then go like that and then go like, you know, this is not how prices go, right? Prices don't go like that. Prices sometimes do this. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And I mean, you can see what prices sometimes do. And prices can do whatever the fuck prices want to do, right? And if they decide to do something they've never done before, that's perfectly acceptable. But they tend to go something like that, right? Tends to be the way dips and rises go. And this one, well, it's gone down like this already. It's done that curve. It's usually what they do is that, at least a little bit of it, right? They don't ever go like that, right? Like, they don't hardly ever go like that, right? But they want you to think they do, right? And the way they do that is preventing the higher highs, right? They just prevent the higher highs. It's not they themselves that cause the lows to come in where they do. The people painting this impression on the charts, they do it from here, from controlling these highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and let you panic and cause this bottom to expand. But we're not going to fucking panic. You know, they're just putting us through more shit. They're just creating more and more anger and frustration because we're not going to sell at all. We're not going to sell, right? Some of us never ever want to sell. So just piss us off. And if you've got like a lot of money in this and you've got fucking your whole life there in the background, try to manage it, and it gets difficult. They know that. They know the difference between them and you is you have to work. You have to eat. You have to do things to make your life happen. They don't. You know, and we're like, oh, but they have to pay a cost to short it and we can hold it and it's free to just hold. Well, we know the truth is that it isn't free. It isn't free. You have to make sacrifices because that's the life people on this side of the rich-poor divide have to make. Sacrifice. And that fucking sacrifice is all too often put on us by others rather than a willing choice. People who themselves have no understanding of the word. And what does it make us fucking do? It makes us fucking angry. Do they want us angry? I really, really advise them, and this is not financial advice, Ken. This is goddamn straight up fucking honesty. I really advise them not to get us too angry. Not to get the 3 to 10 million of us that are verifiable too angry. Yeah, and like we can ourselves affect this as we continue to do so by buying and holding, right? Buying and holding. And like I say, they don't control the bottoms, they only control the tops. That's how they paint their patterns. So you don't panic. You trust yourself. You trust the information, right? Whether it comes from like the vast majority, 99.9% of the people who've ever been on Super Strong are good people, and that you trust the information you get from the good sources you've got. People, shitloads of you are here and found me and from there, and you're in chat now. And you trust each other. I've seen you talking to each other, and that's this chat, that next chat, every other chat. When I drop into Rockies, when I see you on other YouTubers, keeping each other straight, telling each other the crack. You know, sharing information with each other so that everybody understands everything and the DD doesn't manage to break us up, right? Break us apart and break us down. And Natural Friend, Super Chat, $4.99. We love God, we love each other, and we love GME and Jamie and Rocky too. Fucking legend, Natural Friend. Daniel Grove, Super Chat, $5 for the pastry altogether. That's awesome. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. And price action, you're getting some bargains, 19456. If you care about waiting and you've got the patience and you don't mind if you don't get the trade, maybe your order's in at around 180, maybe they're at 177. Like, I don't know if you're going to get anything lower than that. Very much, you know, at this stage I wouldn't say the charts aren't saying it. Like, there's consolidation, there's divergence, there's reasons that RSI might get picked up on, like that's on the 1 hour there, but you're looking at the 4 hours. Same deal here, right? And you've got a lot of moves off the back of this thing. I don't know where that yellow line came from, but there's a few more to go with it. So yeah, I mean that's that, and then you know on the top side you're looking at these areas and that, but its truth is that like, it doesn't. And I've like recall sort of getting at this idea when I was talking about this last week, but like it doesn't necessarily need to stop at these levels, right? It breaks the 236 on this Fibonacci here. this Fibonacci here at the 223 could quite easily go straight up to 278, right? So 230 to 280, that's the levels you're looking at on the top side, and I expect 230 to be tested this week, right? And I know that sounds silly when you're looking at price action go down, but that's what I expect, right? So like fucking, this is the chat. Anyway, I'm going to get something to eat and stop being so emotional, because I've got like 3 things that made me emotional at once there, and like when that happens to me, it just tends to ruin my day. So chill out, relax. You should go to smoke one for Jamie. Yeah, go smoke one for me. Yo, Jamie getting hangry. Hope he's fed soon. I'm not a cat. Right, so I love you guys. You're all legends, right? And I don't mean to be negative about anyone in particular. Well, I did actually that one stage about that one person because I'm so fucked off. But generally speaking, like, you know, everyone's forgiven. Life is like full of hard things for everybody, and you never know what anyone, even your worst enemy, is going through at any stage. But it's important to remember, right? Nimbus controls the police. Don't fuck with Nimbus. See it at market close, probably. You know, if there's some sort of crazy clamoring for me, or you know, I just come on because I plan to. Yo, 3 hours it says down there. On top it says 1 hour. Who knows? Who knows? Blue knows. Right. Cheerio, 10 in a row. Thanks very much. Love everybody. Wolfric Doomslayers, you legendary army. Ha! Look at those. The great emojis. Yeah, so great, yeah, and I know peace and love, it's true, right?